As you watch the screen, your heart begins to beat faster. There's a fluttering in the pit of your stomach. Your throat is dry. Your palms damp. Suddenly a chill runs down your spine. You clutch the person next to you. You tell yourself, it's only a movie. It's only a movie. But sooner or later, it's time to go home.
Welcome to Film Strip. I'm Lindsey.
I'm Ron.
I'm Jay.
And we are here with our special guest, Ryan, who I go way back with. She's been on a couple of episodes on the pod, The Last Airbender, and I think it was Talented Mr. Ripley. Is that right, Ryan?
Yep. Thank you
And
for having me back.
yeah, we're so excited to have you back. Have you been up to anything recently?
Nothing
Besides
other
playing
than
video games?
yes, Boulder's Gate and then just performing. But other than that, just living day to day and watching
Awesome.
zombie movies, apparently.
Yes. Well, we're super excited to get into it and super excited to have you on the podcast again. And we are here, as Ryan already mentioned, to talk about a zombie movie to wrap up our Shocktober 2025 with our review of Dawn of the Dead, starring Sarah Polley, Ving Rhames, Jake Weber, Mackay Pfeiffer, Ty Burrell, Michael Kelly, Kevin Zegers, Michael Berry, Lindy Booth, James Eastwood, Matt for Bruce Bone, Scott Reiniger, Tom Savini, and Kevin Foree. I think I got most of those names correct. It's based on the 1978 George Romero cult classic and written by James Gunn, the directorial debut of Zack Snyder, released in 2004 and was a mega hit. So let's hear everyone's background with this movie. Jay, let's start with you.
I saw this in theaters when it came out. It looked like something fun that I would want to catch in a movie theater, and so went and saw it. I didn't know who Zack Snyder was. I didn't keep up with who directed music videos and commercials, and still don't to this day. So I just heard a lot about him, and I saw the trailer and thought, that's a interesting take on that Romero film. Let's go check that out. And I'll save the rest of my thoughts for later. But yeah, so I went and saw this when it came out in theaters, and I've seen it a couple times since. But definitely have thoughts about it.
Cool. Ron, how about you?
This is probably the movie I've seen most in theaters. I'm pretty sure I've told the story a million times on the podcast, so I'll do a condensed version. The college town I lived in when this movie came out, I knew the theater manager, so I could just go for free and I could just bring in
Nice.
whatever I wanted because after the first like couple of showings, it was just me watching it in a mostly empty theater. So, cue the backpack of full of tall boys and stolen chicken from the dining center and uh, fast food and pizza and more beer and basically whatever I wanted. It was like my own private screening room, but 20 feet wide and 30 feet wide and 20 feet tall. And I've always had a deep affection for the movie. A couple years after this came out, I went to a screenwriting conference in Nashville where one of the people that gave the screenwriting conference was James Gunn. So I got to work. I actually got to be in like small group settings and workshops with him.
Hmm.
So that was super cool. Um, Before most people knew who he was, this was before Super was coming out. Like Super was in post production at this time, so that should tell you how long ago this was. And he actually, when I had my first go at maintaining my own website, me and some friends, uh, one of whom is now a professional author slash AEW podcaster, and the other who designs merch for wrestlers. Weirdly enough, Um, one of the people I got to interview for that site was James Gunn because I followed him on MySpace, and I was like, "Hey, man, can I just ask you some questions for this stupid site I have?" And he was like, "Sure. I've got nothing better to do with my time." This is before I'm the guy in charge of DC, so, so it was super cool, super nice guy, really super smart, encyclopedic knowledge of Midwestern power pop music, Jay. So I feel like you two would get along really well. Um, super dyed in the wool comic book nerd. So when he started showing up for these things with the Marvels and the DC stuff, I was like, well, he's a perfect pick because he knows this stuff backwards and forwards and actually cares about the source material. And I maintain that to this day. Um, and also I've, own it on DVD and I've watched it 1,000 times. And it's one of those ones can pop on pretty much at a moment's notice and have a good time.
Nice. And Ryan, have you seen this movie before I asked you to review this? So
Nope.
you just blindly agreed. I love that. This is why we're friends.
You are a dangerous woman to me. This was before I realized I had a love for horror, and this one, I guess I just didn't pay attention to. Um, I love early 2000s like horror films, and this one I guess I just didn't watch. Zombie films are kind of like a hit or a miss for me,
Mm.
to be perfectly honest. But you were like, you want to come back on film strip? And I was like, I haven't been banished. All right, I'll come back on. um, so yeah, I watched the 2004. I watched a little bit of the George Romero film, which I'm certain we'll get into later. But yeah, this was my first time watching it.
Awesome. I don't remember if I saw this in the theaters when it came out or not. So, but I saw it definitely the year it came out. It was just a huge, huge thing. I was in college at the time, and so it was just one of those movies that every single person was watching. So I saw it then. I watched it several times. My brother is my horror movie watching buddy, and so we actually lived together for about 2 years at as adults after we were out of college and stuff. And so this was a regular watch as well, but I haven't really seen it since it's been a while. So I had to rewatch it and brush up, and I remembered very little about it. So the rewatch was good. I'm glad I didn't trust my memory to just wing it this podcast. But
I will
uh
I will say you were like, is this the movie with such and such, which I know we'll get into later. And I
yeah,
went,
yeah.
yep, that is 100%
Yeah.
what you were watching.
Well, because I got the year wrong in my head. What did I say at first, Ryan? I was like,
2007.
yeah, the one from 2007. And Ryan goes, wait, what? I thought we were doing the 2004 one. And I said,
I'm sitting there going
oh,
like, there's a
wait.
2007 one.
I said, oh, wait, was it 2004? I honestly just pulled 2007 out of my ass. Like, I don't know what I was talking
Well,
about.
when you pull up live streaming, at least from what I saw, there was a something of the dead that popped up with the 2007, and it made me
Mm.
second guess everything because you said
Yeah.
2007. I was like, wait, have I been watching the wrong movie? Did
No,
I just rent the wrong film?
you were right.
Is
I've
that
had that
the
fear before, but
is that
you
the
were,
Day of the Dead remake that came out in 2007 that
I,
also has
Yes,
Ving Rhames in it?
yes, I
Yeah.
believe
yeah,
so. Yes.
yeah.
You to
I
confuse them.
was yeah. No, I was thinking of the correct movie, but I said the wrong year. But yes, the 2004 one was definitely the correct one. And the one that I had intended to watch, I just hadn't watched it yet. So I I am brushed up and fresh and ready to talk about it. I haven't seen the original, so I'm interested to hear your everyone who's seen any of it take on the comparison between the two, but I'll be the one that hasn't seen it on this one. So before we get into the juicy stuff,
Unintended.
yep. I hear we have a plot summary, compliments of Chat GPT.
I don't know if it's ChatGPT, but it's straight off the dome. I wrote this down, and surprising how much of it I remembered. So, mic's on. Let's see how close I get. Imagine you and your hubs are settling in for date night, which consists of watching American Idol, the knockout rounds, and shower sex, when the whole world literally goes to hell in a handbasket. And for reasons never totally explained, because Rob Zombie is not writing and directing this movie, the dead have risen to walk the earth, and every person they bite becomes one of their unruly, bloodthirsty horde. Anna, our nurse protagonist from the beginning, escapes her burning neighborhood in zombified hubs along with the annoying little roller skating girl next door, only to crash and meet up with other survivors' strays that include a heavily armed Ving Rhames as a cop who has the meats, Jake Weber playing Jake Weber, the TV salesman, Mekhi Phifer, who's trying to leave the gang life and take his pregnant lady friend Luda to safety, but not with Chris. They take refuge in a local mall where they run afoul of pre-House of Cards Michael Kelly, who tries to lock everyone up in the stores only to realize they're still going to steal shit because nobody's coming to work anymore. The group adds a few more members of the cast while avoiding random attacks from zombies who can now run. Forgot to mention that. Some hang out in the Orange Julius. Some hook up in the Victoria's Secret store. Some befriend across the street gun store owners and shoot zombies wandering across the parking lot when they're done playing chess. Some just sit around and watch TV trying to make sense of it all until their peace is broken because infections like this can never be contained. The group decides instead of staying in the mall, which is heavily fortified and full of all the supplies they need, let's deck out a couple of buses twisted metal style and break for a marina where the boat awaits a la Maximum Overdrive, but with no ACDC and a lot less cocaine. Allegedly. Several of the group members are killed along the way until TV salesman Jake Weber decides to stay behind and let Nurse Anna and other survivors get on the boat because he's already been bitten on the arm and he ain't going out like that. However, it's possible none of them made it because in a found footage style epilogue, we see the island they escaped to is also overrun with the dead as the credits in the new metal roll. And that's pretty much the plot summary I could come up with off the top of my head.
Is Disturbed considered new metal?
Oh, I would think so. Yeah.
I honestly don't know. Yeah.
That was going to be my first question, Lindsay. I was like, is Disturbed new metal?
Yes. Yeah, they fit the mold.
Okay.
Well, we got two different renditions of that song.
We
That was the
did.
thickness in that film.
Yeah, I can blame cast aspersions at this movie for bringing Richard Cheese into my life. And because I had to know what that was.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, and when I looked it up, because in 2004, the IMDb was still, somewhat useful website, and you could go and look at it. And I was like, who the heck is Richard Cheese? And so I did what everybody did back in those days. I went on LimeWire, and I started listening to Richard Cheese music. And for about a day, I thought, this is really funny. And then my fiance, now wife, said, I'm kind of tired of Richard Cheese. I'm like, yeah, I am too. So that was the end of Richard Cheese. But yeah.
It was very jazzy.
We did go see this together. I should mention that we saw this in theaters together. We have a penchant for seeing random horror movies together in theaters, or did for years, and this is one that she went willingly with me.
I do feel Richard Cheese just somehow always manages to wind up in an early 2000s like horror film. It's like, let's introduce that really jazzy, slow version of like a song that everyone knows that's like new metal or grunge or something.
Yeah.
And I do recall when that popped into the movie, I went, oh, okay, I really know where I'm at now. It's early 2000s horror films.
Very much. It gives it that aesthetic. If the digital photography and all the Zack Snyder quick cuts and slow-mo and stuff like that didn't tell you, the music should have. Where you were.
Richard Cheese is to early 2000s horror movies as to the Dan Band is for early 2000s bro comedies.
Okay.
Have you guys ever heard of the Stephen King drinking game?
No, but I'm sure it's epic.
You would probably be dead well, a lot of people would be, but I feel like in early 2000s horror films in general, if Richard Cheese was like doing something, that would be a shot right there.
I own like 13 Richard Cheese albums, right?
No, I did not know that. Oh my gosh.
He had
good for you.
He
On
had a
what
big
format?
sale like on digital.
Okay.
He had a big sale on his like website or Bandcamp or whatever. It was like for $50 you could get the
Richard
complete
Cheese
wheel of
box
cheese. It was
set.
like
The
no, it had
wheel
some kind
of
of ridiculous cheese pun based title, like the whole wheel of cheese or something. Um,
Checks
and so I was
out.
like, all
So,
right, I can do that, and it's a lot of fun. It is a novelty that does kind of wear off after the first like 3 albums,
yeah, I would think
but
so.
he, I will say, I will give him all the credit in the world for this. He finds interesting ways to loungeify music that should not be loungeable.
Yeah,
Like
I
that with
look
the
at
segment.
him and hear him, and I'm immediately taken back to something that was a thing in the '80s, and that is Leisure Suit Larry,
Ah,
Mm.
the
yeah.
8-bit computer Lothario. And I just feel like Richard Cheese and Leisure Suit Larry and probably Zack Snyder sit around a bar together at times and talk. And Steve from this movie, Ty Burrell. Because I feel like the director put himself in this movie with that guy. But we'll talk about that.
No, Zack Snyder's actually a nice guy.
I'm sure he is. So his art is not for me. So we'll just leave it at that. Actually, the funny thing is the two movies of his I like are the ones everybody hates. So
Sucker Punch.
What are the two that
Which
you
one?
hate?
no, I like
love
the
that-
Man of Steel and I like the Superman Dawn of Justice. I love those. So,
I like
Actually,
those too. I'm a
ironically,
DC person, so
Mhm.
ironically enough, Richard Cheese was also in Batman versus Superman: Dawn of
yeah,
Justice.
yes, he was. I feel like it's like a blood brotherhood going on between the two guys.
I can see that.
So
Yeah.
actually, also don't hate that Watchmen movie, though. Everybody that loves Watchmen tells me it's the worst thing that's ever existed. But
I
I
just-
didn't.
I love The
Actually,
Watchmen, and I
I
went to
love
see that
Watchmen.
movie
Mhm.
at the midnight showing when
Okay.
it came out in the theater.
I'm actually in agreement. I love The Watchmen. I have the comics and everything, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a great rendition of the comic, but that's, I guess.
I feel like Stay Tuned is in order wrong. So,
I'm 100% down. I love The Watchmen.
it's
I
been a
still
minute.
like it.
It's been a minute since I've seen it, but yeah, we'll have to get into that. But yeah, so
Jackie Earl Haley, my man.
look, way scarier than his turn as Freddy Krueger.
We
Let me
don't
just
talk.
say that.
We don't talk about that movie.
Yeah, we
I
don't.
hate that film so much.
I'm going to be talking about that in a future episode of Two Girls, One Crib. So
My
everyone pray
condolences.
for me.
You need more alcohol. In
I
order to-
am going to have a lot of therapy to watch that again. But thankfully, it's not what we're talking about tonight.
Thankfully.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
It's not
getting us back
Jackie Earl
on
Haley's
track.
fault. It's not
Yeah.
Jackie Earl Haley's fault, Jay.
It's
You
not.
can't blame that
It's
on
not.
him.
I don't blame it on Jackie. I don't at all.
He's
He's a
the
sweet
best part of
soul.
that RoboCop reboot.
Yeah, you know what? Joel Kinnaman's awesome in that, but you're not wrong. Jackie Earle Haley is fun in that movie. So we're going to
I
have
say
that
as a
argument
guy
one
who
day,
really
too.
I really like Joel Kinnaman in that.
Yeah.
But man, Jackie Earl Haley is just such a great slime ball.
He,
And he was also great on a show that I watched that nobody else in the world watched, Human Target.
I don't know that one.
Oh,
I've
I don't
seen the
either.
previews and stuff. But I
I-
didn't watch that. Yeah.
I watched a couple episodes of that. Yes, I
Hmm.
did. And I love Jackie Earl Haley. I feel like he can do no wrong because I feel like he just does his best in everything that he does.
Well, it was like some generic dude, Chi McBride, who was awesome, and
Oh,
Jackie
he's
Earl Haley
good.
was like their scumbag friend. Like
Yeah.
Chi McBride was like his friend who worked with the police and like could do things legitimately, and Jackie Earl Haley was kind of his general purpose scumbag friend who knew
Yeah.
all the dirty handed people, and it was a great. It was that combination of those two people was a was a great combination because you could not pick two people who are more physically different looking.
No, I love Chad McBride on Boston Public. That was where I found him initially, I think. And then Gone in 60 Seconds, that remake with the Nick Cage version with Angelina
Yeah.
Jolie and I don't know what she's got going on. It's like twisted moose dreadlock, white girl dreadlocks. I mean, it's pretty wild. But
It was a big thing at the time. The gymnast girl in Bring It On had the same.
yeah,
hair,
Liza
but
Dushku did the
not-
same
yeah,
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
the girl
Yeah.
from Buffy
Faith,
the Vampire
Liza
Slayer.
Dushku.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, but yeah, I know I love them, but I'm sitting here thinking of it though. Jackie Earle Haley could have been CJ in this, like, and still would have worked. I like Michael Kelly, but he would have worked as CJ too. But
Mhm.
oh well.
He does a great job of either playing somebody who's like so extremely good or so extremely bad, and it just kind of works for him. Like not just his like appearance, but his physicality. Because
Yeah.
you have like you've compared like we have like Watchmen, and then but you're right, he would have been a great CJ in this particular movie.
Yeah. So though it always got me, the times I saw Michael Kelly later, and particularly, I dropped it in the plot summary when he showed up on House of Cards. I was like, is that fucking CJ from Dawn of the Dead? And I was like, oh yeah, you take away the Fu Manchu and the go ahead and we do what I've done. You just peel it on back, and yeah, that's boy, yeah, he's just as ferocious. So as Kevin Spacey's lapdog or whatever he is in that, whatever you want to call him in that show. But yeah, that's it's an intense role, as is this. Yeah, I think he brings that same intensity every time. But
I want to talk about a very important character in this movie, which you mentioned in the plot summary a little bit, Jay, and that is the Toyota Corolla, RIP, the car of 2004.
yes,
Really
this movie starts through the eyes of a young couple and a Toyota Corolla.
Everyone had a busted ass Toyota Corolla in 2004.
Well, look, it's safe. You can run the son of a bitch into a tree and live.
I know.
Like no scars at all.
It was suburban life. Everyone was like, "Oh, she's got a Toyota Corolla. I guess we got to get a Toyota Corolla."
I mean, they had a pretty good setup going there. It's a decent looking little starter home or whatever. Good house.
Yeah.
Heck, I'd take it now.
better.
They were so cute. Like
Yeah.
they had such great chemistry in that one tiny little scene that they got together. It
Yeah.
was just like such a beautiful little
Oh, like the first 10 minutes of this movie, like for me is I remember it when I saw it, and then watching it again, and I watched it twice to do this review because I just wanted to really absorb it. It had been a long time since I saw it. I watched it and I was like, man, the first 10 minutes of this are just amazing. And I remember somewhere, like I think it may have been Tarantino or one of those other ones, said like it's some of the best 10 minutes of like horror movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm because it just throws you in. And I remember the 1978 one throws you in too, because you're just thrown into this chaotic television show and television news station, which if you've ever worked in that situation, and I sadly enough have, that's pretty well how it goes. And so you're at the end of like the hell has already happened. Nobody's going to explain it to you. And this one does the same thing. And what I love about it is that Sarah Polley here is so like busy with trying to escape all this nonsense in her regular life that she misses at every turn, like at least 6 different turns. She misses opportunities to find out what's going to happen before it happens to her. Like the guys in the hospital, the other dude in the hospital, on the way home, there's news reports and she just wants to listen to some fake ass Edwin McCain or whatever on the radio and and cruise onto her Milwaukee suburb and watch American Idol and, steam up the shower with Lewis, her husband. But you're right though, Lindsay, they do have a ton of chemistry together. And I don't know that actor from anything. I've never seen him in anything else. But I thought they just cast them perfectly for this. They really got on. They looked like a real couple.
They did.
Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
you go ahead. Well, I was going to say, like, I really was curious about like his lifestyle too, because we don't know really what he was doing. We don't know what his line of work was, but he also didn't catch anything that was going on, did not pay attention to any of the radio reports, any of the TV. He's also like, I got to get home. It's date night. We're watching American Idol.
Right? Yeah. And look, I remember at that time, my wife and I did watch the knockout rounds of American Idol together. It was like a thing. And we would have conversations like, no, not the chubby one with the good voice, or whatever. Like,
It's so real.
That's what I
real
miss.
Dialogue.
Yeah, like for the first 10 minutes of this movie, everybody you meet in it looks like a person you might actually know. Sarah Polley, and I'm not saying anything bad about it. She looks like somebody you would know. She looks like a normal person. Her husband looks like a normal guy. The little girl across the street looks like a normal person. The neighbors look normal. The doctor looks like the same asshole doctor you work around the hospital. They all look like real people. When they get to the movie part of it, when they get into the malls, when all the pretty people show up and it becomes Hollywood. But I'm like, oh man, this is like normal looking people. I like this. And they have like a normal life. Like I don't know. I just like that. So,
but even when Hollywood shows up, it is 2004 Hollywood. So this is before like the Botox filler craze. So their faces all look very still relatable, even though they're like Hollywoodized human beings.
I mean, the only person who like doesn't fit the standard of quote unquote normal is probably what's her name? The girl, Jane Eastwood. Is
Yeah,
that the right
Jane
girl?
Eastwood.
Yeah, the kind of floozy-ish type who's
Oh no, no,
Yeah.
that's
out
not
with-
Jane. Jane Eastwood is the truck
Oh.
driver. You're talking about
Oh.
Kim Poirier, the blonde. So
Yes, I'm
Is
thinking
that
about the blonde.
Yeah.
Vivian
Mhm.
or whatever? No, that's not right.
Monica.
No, that's the
Monica
little
was
girl.
her name.
Monica, that's
Yes,
what it is.
Yeah.
she's the only one who doesn't kind of fit the standard, but she also is like not so attractive that she's outside of the realm of normalcy. Like you could definitely see Ty Burrell with his original hairline pulling that kind of girl like onto his
I'm
boat.
glad you called that out because I was like,
I will say that what I really thought was funny, like I loved the first 10 minutes because I remember when it pulled up, somebody compared it to the phrase, there goes the neighborhood
yes,
phrase,
yes.
which I loved. But what for me, I was kind of giggling about was the little girl at the very beginning.
Vivian, yeah.
Vivian, because at first I thought, oh, is that Anna's daughter? And then we find out that's not the case. And then we get to the part where they wake up in the morning after they've had, their fun times in the shower. And the door just opens and Vivian is there. And Anna's husband's like, oh, Vivian's here. And I'm like, do you have a key that you give to this child?
Okay,
Like,
though. So
what?
There was this little boy that lived next to us, though, when we lived in Montgomery, and he would just come over to our house all the time. And we were just
Okay.
fine with it because we're like, because we knew him, we knew his parents, and we're like, sure. And like he used to bring his friends over and give them tours of our house, which was also kind of weird. But it reminded me of that. I was like, oh yeah, it's like, I think his name was Michael. It was like, yeah, it reminds me of that. I was like, yeah, sure, it's. But I like that though because it feels like it's so like Midwest. This is supposed to be in Milwaukee, and it's just so like, oh, everything's normal, right? It's just normal life until it's absolutely not. And that's what's great about it is when it turns on a dime. Because her face, by the way, too, like she's
the
missing
prosthetics
her
were
mouth.
amazing.
Like that, the makeup in this is really tremendous. I will say that
And when
about this
she
movie. Yeah.
bites the neck and the tendons come out.
Yeah.
This
was
movie's
like,
got a
man,
lot of viscera. Yeah.
Yeah, I am so glad I mean, it wouldn't have bothered me really, but
Mhm.
I was like, I'm glad that I didn't encourage eating dinner while watching this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, no.
Well, what's nice is that it takes its time with the viscera too, because like they really took their time, like where she's trying to help her husband, like stop the bleeding. Like you see, like her practicing as a nurse, being like,
Mhm.
put your hand down, let me get the towel on and everything. Because sometimes I find that like in some horror movies these days with the viscera, it's so fast that
Mhm.
it's mostly for shock value. But at least this particular scene had a little bit of a slow burn. And I felt that also when when he started to turn and she ran into the bathroom and when she slammed into that tub, like
Mhm.
I felt that pain.
Yeah.
And then now granted, I was yelling at her when she was like, I got to get the window open. I'm like, there's a latch on the left side of you
Oh,
that you haven't switched yet.
but did you notice what she grabbed? And I caught it this time, and I knew she had them, but I just didn't think about it. She thinks enough to grab her keys before she
Yes.
runs into that bathroom. She doesn't have anything else. She doesn't have shoes. She have a purse. She got nothing. She got them keys, and I was like, that
Yeah.
is smart. That is thinking on your feet. Like,
And that helps at the end of the film too. Keys.
Mhm.
Well, kind of.
Yep.
She's
Kind of.
like it is
Well,
Chekhov's keys. Chekhov's key
Yeah.
grabber.
Yeah.
So,
Trevor.
that's what I say.
That's
The first 10 minutes of this, and I give a lot of this. I mean, Snyder's directing the hell out of it, sure, but this is a lot of James Gunn. Like this is how he writes stuff, and his openings to his movies are never dull. They're never slow. Like there's boom, 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 boom. We're going to get you right in. We're going to hit you with a lot of, fun, snarky humor, and then we're going to hit you with the big bang action stuff. And then when she's driving out of that neighborhood, did anybody else like think of that meme of the little girl like smiling with the
Yes.
fire truck? Like it felt
Yeah.
like that. I know that came afterward, but I'm like,
that was Vivian.
Yes.
She just turned
For
a little bit
sure.
and her face was like her mouth is like
So-
completely ripped off. Yes.
So before we get away from the special effects portion where we talked about how great Vivian's face looks, do you know who did the makeup for this?
no, who
Who?
did that?
David Leroy Anderson, who had been taking a 2-year hiatus from doing movie special effects to work on work for a different company. Then he did like a month-long test trial where he showed off various zombie effects and did all this research about
Oh man.
what people look like in various stages of decomposition,
Ooh.
with the assistance of his wife, Heather Langenkamp.
Oh, I forgot that's who she was
Seriously?
married to.
That's
Yes,
right.
I knew she was married to an FX guy, but okay.
She jumped into family business, and she was part and parcel with the effects on this movie.
That is so funny. So,
Pretty funny.
well, I mean, she wasn't giving anybody acting tips, that's for sure. So, but oh, that I knew she was married to an effects guy because they used that in New Nightmare as part of the hook. But yeah,
Yep.
oh, that's great. So, I mean, again, the opening of this is and all of it.
And
The whole
the opening
neighborhood,
of
the
this,
fact that everybody's freaking out, and we get it's almost like a video game, the way they're following her little Corolla, just snaking through all the destruction.
There are so many video game moments. I'm glad I
Mhm.
mentioned you playing video games earlier, Ryan, because there was a point where I looked at Brian watching this and I went, I feel like I would be really bad at this video game because it's just
Well, to be
it
fair,
feels
so
like
was
a first
she.
person shooter. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you've
Yeah.
got zombies coming at you. There are a bunch of scenes like that where there's just zombies coming at you and
Mhm.
Mhm.
they're just shooting at them. It's just a shoot 'em
and
up game.
this whole opening is chock full of references to the original Night of the Living Dead trilogy.
Mhm.
Um, and I say this as an annoying super fan of those movies. So the helicopter that's flying around is the WGON helicopter
Yep.
that is
Mhm.
used in the original uh, Dawn of the Dead. That is how they escape to the mall, and then how they escape from the mall later. You see the explosion at a gas station as she's driving through town. That
It's a
gas station
great
explosion.
upshot, by the way, too. Yeah.
Yes, it's fabulous. Number one. Number two, that's the inciting explosion from. That's where Ben Dwayne Jones comes from in Night of the Living Dead. He was there, and the gas
Hmm.
station exploded, and he just got the hell out of there
Yep.
in an old pickup truck that you actually see driving around. The old beater red pickup truck is driving around in that scene too, as we see the shot from overhead.
Oh,
So,
I see. I love that kind of stuff. Like that kind of thing is what you used to could do in movies like this without beating people over the head with it so that it
mhm.
valued the rewatch. Because again, this opening sequence when she's trying to get out of the neighborhood and when she is, and you get that big pull out shot because it's done from the chopper of all the just destruction everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything is literally going to hell around you. And just imagining like what that would feel like. And it hit me and I was like, oh, when was this movie made? It was made in the shape of a galvanizing event in American culture where we all watched on television, 9/11. And
Mhm.
just seeing something like that was a mind blow to most of us. We never saw anything like that except in a movie before. And I feel
Yeah.
like if the original Dawn of the Dead and the original Dead trilogy have a lot of social commentary to them and really smartly done social commentary. I join you, Ron, as a fan of those things. And this one has a different sensibility and comment as well, but I do feel like it is living in that post world for all of us.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're going. It definitely does feel like a post 9/11 society, because the mall is still important, right?
Hmm.
But the mall
Mhm.
isn't the mall that you see in like the original Night of the Living Dead,
No.
or the original Dawn of the Dead. I'm sorry. It is glistening, flashy. There's a giant coffee shop in the middle of it. It has been updated to be just as like obnoxious and consumerist as the actual mall experience circa 2004.
I was gonna say it looked like them all in 2004. So,
Mhm.
Right down
Yeah.
to the fact where they had like big superfluous fountains and
hmm
and probably skylights, and somewhere in that somewhere in the back of that mall is like a 50-foot Christmas tree. You just know it is.
Right. I mean, yeah. Well, they've got buses, they've got their own generators, all this stuff. There's all this. You can get into the how is this thing running still and all that. But
I've got questions about the generators.
yeah, they kind of drop lines, but they're not. I'm like, I don't know if that's how that exactly works, but okay.
I
So
have questions about the alcohol that they had at the one dinner event. I was like, where did you find that? That was not at the coffee
They
shop.
for sure have like a wine store or something there, an ABC store, whatever the equivalent is in the
In
Midwest.
a mall?
A package store. Yeah,
It's
sure.
Wisconsin. Those people drink like
it's
crazy.
true. It is Wisconsin. Nick would attest that yes, this is accurate. So-
I have Wisconsin cousins and went to a Wisconsin wedding, and I am telling you right now,
You walked by the Abercrombie and Fitch, and conveniently there was a place that was selling sparkling available
I did
for
not
dinners.
I did not make it to the mall while I was there, but
You got your
there
ears pierced at
were
Claire's, and then you
yeah,
got to go get a red afterwards. Yeah.
alcohol was easy to find. I'll just say that. It was
But I
very
do want to
easy.
say something that might be a little controversial here because I feel like we're all on board that this opening really grabs you. It's great, and we get into the Johnny Cash, man comes around, which I don't love this era Johnny Cash stuff. I feel like it's
Not a huge
rather
fan.
exploitative and kind of ghoulish to listen to, but whatever. It fits the motif. But for me, when she wrecks that car, from that moment on, this movie drops for me, and I enjoy it minute by minute, less and less the more it goes on. The opening is so good, it's like it can never get back to that moment again. It's like when you get an album and the first 3 songs are like, oh yeah, and then it's like, okay, there's the reset song. It's like, all right, there's the ballad. What the hell is this? Oh God. and then you're just lost in it at that point.
They even attempt a montage that doesn't work because it's way too late in the movie. But I would agree that the movie it's the law of diminishing returns. Like if they had just ended it 15 minutes into the movie, it would have been like an extra large popcorn.
Like the greatest short ever made. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the opening though it's a grab, and so I put that out there. I may be on an island. So Lindsay, sounds like you're on team with me. Ryan and Ron, where are y'all?
Do you want to go, Ron?
I am not on a team with you, Jay. We're gonna have differing opinions here.
I have
'Cause
a
I feel
lot
like
of
there's
thoughts,
enough-
but
I'm sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I have a lot of thoughts, but as a general sweeping statement, I would say I'm on Team J, where it does kind of slowly run down the side of that cliff the longer the movie goes.
Now, to me, they sprinkle enough cool stuff in and enough set pieces in as you go on to maintain some of the momentum. I agree that it does kind of lag a little bit in the middle, but that's just because of the general structure of movies, right? You got to have a middle act, and the middle act is never like chock full of crazy things. But I mean, you do get some crazy stuff in that middle act, like Zombie Baby. I watched
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but
It's hard to beat Zombie Baby.
We're gonna talk about Zombie Baby later on, but okay. So,
and I don't know what other versions everybody else watched. I watched the unrated cut, so maybe I got a little extra gore.
I did too.
No,
yeah,
I watched
splatter
the
in
same.
I saw the ungraded. Yeah, so
Which is
Oh,
only
perfect.
like 10, 15 minutes more, I think, than the regular.
That's why I went for it. It was still under my 2-hour rule.
yeah, you
There you
don't.
go.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, we talked about this. The
it really
2-hour
is just
rule.
extended. Like there's a couple of extended talky scenes, but it's just like more viscera, and they go on longer with all of it. That's and the baby wouldn't last a little bit longer than
I was gonna say, for me, I was just being snarky. I was watching this film, and I had my emotional support cat, and she was driving, and she hit.
I
As
thought
we
you meant
know,
the cat was driving.
Solid.
I know. I had to go like, hold on, what?
No,
Emotional
Solid.
support cat Toons is the cat who could drive a car.
No. Lindsay knows my cat.
I do.
Sawin would totally drive a car and probably get us killed. But
I love that your cat is named Solomon, by the way, and you're on
yes,
Shocktober here as we
yes.
do this show.
She stuck with me the entire time, and she's sleeping on the couch right now. But I remember just I was being snarky, and when she was trying to get away from the other guy who was trying to hijack her car, and she hit the pole, I went, and she died. And then the credits started rolling for the
Mhm.
opening sequence, and I just burst out laughing because I
Yep.
was like, of course it did. The montage kind of confused me just because, especially because we see a little bit of that montage at the very end, which I know we'll go over, but I know there was some religious aspects in it too. And I went, okay, is this going to be something that's important throughout this movie? Which, spoiler alert, no, it's not.
Nope.
Not really,
Nope.
except for one cameo that we'll talk about. But I'm kind of on the fence. I'm like, it's an early 2000s film, so I will say that when we get a little bit further into it, I was like, "Uh,"
Uh,
and then I thought it kinda picked up, and then it started to drop a little bit more.
This opening credits, though, I will say is part of the coolness of it, but it does live in a space that existed from like 1995 to about 2005 or 2006, and it's very music video. And I don't mean that derisively. I'm just saying it's the acid wash style and all the chemicals
Yeah.
coming off and the weird cuts. I feel like that started in like Seven with David Fincher and all of that stuff because he came from that world too. And Snyder had done a lot of that, and all of these things just sort of live in that. Rob Zombie does some of that stuff, and and I'm mostly okay with that. It's definitely a sign of the times, but it didn't take me out of it. Again, I don't like that Johnny Cash thing, but also I'm going like, but it kind of fits because you're doing this whole, the dead walk the earth. You're going to have Ken Faree come up and preach at us about it sort of randomly as this kind of very angry Joel Osteen type. And, I don't know. The thing is, though, I watched it this time going like, all right, well, this opening is supposed to grab you and throw you off kilter the same way the 1978 one does, because you don't know what the hell's going on for like 20
Mhm.
minutes of that movie. There's like this whole raid and there's a shootout and it's like Assault on Precinct 13 but from the cops' point of view again. And at the 1978 one, there's a lot going on in that before you meet everybody and you get to the mall. Where this one, they don't waste a lot of time getting you to the mall. And so I was looking at this credit sequence and all this stuff and trying to think like, okay, are we setting anything up? Are we trying to say anything? And the answer to that is no, at least not for me. I didn't get anything more out of this than what I had. And you just introduced something, Ryan, that I think is a fascinating idea. What if Anna did die? And that was all we got
Right.
of her. Like that
Yeah.
was it. Like she hits that
Like
tree,
Drew
boom, gone,
Barrymore.
and then we have to go with all
Yeah.
these other people. Yeah, I would have loved that. That'd have been a great move. It would have
Well,
Like
taken the
Jay,
Drew
best
Barrymore,
actor out
like,
of the movie,
scream,
but it
she's done, like,
yeah, it
and
would
then
have
we move on to somebody else.
now it would
well,
have taken
Jay,
the best actor out of the movie, but
if you want that kind of storytelling, Jay, in the zombie universe, I can't recommend uh, Black Summer highly enough.
okay, I'm gonna try that one out now because I did not know that that was a
It's a
thing.
Netflix show. There's 2 seasons. Both of them are great,
Okay.
and it very much you follow a character. Okay, so it's shot in a very interesting way. You will, for example, there'll be a scene where a character's like driving in a car, and then in the background you'll see somebody like sprint across the street,
Mhm.
and the camera will leave the car to follow the person sprinting away from a horde of zombies or whatever. And so you get a lot of really weird, like everything's cut together really strangely in a
Okay.
really interesting way, and like you don't know who is going to live and who is going to die. Because like there are several sequences where you get this character introduction, like, oh, this is obviously going to be one of our main characters. We spent so much time with this person. Then the next scene, nope, they're zombie chow. They're dead.
Oh wow. Okay.
They got shot in the face. Whatever. Um,
Wow. Okay. See, I would go for something like that then because that's what I thought would be neat like to do here. Even though again it does take probably the most interesting character out of the movie. So,
no, this would be 100% what you wanted, what you thought would be a cool thing to happen to Sarah Polly is pretty much how Black Summer operates
Huh.
from the jump. So I 100% recommend it.
all right, I'll check that one out then. Yeah.
And it's John Hyams who did the Universal Soldier
That's
sequels that everybody loves.
Peter Heim's son we're talking about.
Yes,
Okay, then now I'm even more sold.
and he did
So
he did a Universal Soldier: Day of Reckoning and Universal Soldier or whatever
see, because
Returns, I think.
I like Peter Hyams because he did 2010, which is an underrated movie and sequel and sci-fi movie in a lot of ways. He
Hmm.
also did the awesome Time Cop, and how can we forget End of Days, where Arnold takes on the devil. So,
I love that movie.
oh, we
I
got to
can't
do
forget
that
End
one
of Days.
sometime then, it's because
Stay tuned.
yeah, stay tuned and a
I know
half.
it's not a fan favorite, but I love that
Well,
movie. I have since high school.
we've done The Relic. Nick and I talked about The Relic years ago, and I love that movie. It's cheesy as hell, and I really like the book, but the movie's pretty good. I like Peter Hyams stuff, so yeah. That's
John
I'll just
Himes
try that one
is
out then.
amazing. He's a fabulous editor, and it
Good.
clearly shows in his filmmaking style.
I'll have to try that then. So,
Nice.
but yeah.
Man, there's so much to talk about. I'm not even sure what the next best thing to
I
talk about
I think with
is.
the band getting together on the road here on the way to the mall, it's like we get
Yeah.
our the rest of our main cast is all here on the road. Jake Weber, Ving Rhames, and Mekhi Phifer. So
Yeah. Paying the Pied Piper.
And the ominous music that comes when they start walking towards the mall, which is what
yes.
all of us think, especially during the holiday season.
Oh yeah. It's just, oh
And then yeah,
yeah.
I yeah, what a I just I do love the say something. And the only thing that she can think to say is please.
Please. Yeah.
It's something. He could have shot
Okay.
her, and that could have been the end of the movie too.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
he knew.
I love that you've got this very large man and this very petite woman barefoot walking through the wilderness, as it were, next to the highway. And he's obviously like been in some bit of combat because he's taped up and he's cut up and stuff, and he's got his shotgun out. And they come through I mean, I was just sitting there thinking about like all the greenways I run around here in town, and they all go into roads. And they have the same kind of like little out right up to the side of the road, and then people would come down the hill. It always scares the hell out of me. Anytime I'm coming through one of those, and then people are coming down, I'm like, oh shit, is this the time?
Yeah.
So, and but I'm like, yeah, I mean, you've got Jake Weber and playing Jake Weber, the TV salesman, and Mekhi Phifer and his
TV
pregnant
sales.
wife.
Is
love
Jake
that you
Weber
picked
actually a TV salesman?
No, he
Because
just
Right.
plays the same thing all the time. I like him. He's a
I
good everyman, but he's
yeah.
perfectly Midwestern and boring. And I think that was the
I
casting note.
No,
I
in this
genuinely
movie, he's so good at like fighting
thank
that
you.
I don't know if I believe that he was actually a TV
Thank
salesman at
you.
Best Buy.
That was my thought too. I was like, he can't be a TV salesman. He's got to be like, I don't know,
He's
some
like a
sort of
Green Beret
military.
or something.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
because
It's
he was there was one particular scene and I wish I could I think it was when they were fighting the security
Security
cops.
guards. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just so good at it, like fighting them and I went, "Okay, the TV salesman cannot be the and he was so charismatic and like leading people and throughout this movie about what needed to be done." I was like,
I
"Okay,
I'll tell
I
you,
I bet he
know."
was raised on a farm. I bet that's what it
I
is.
That's
bet this guy's an old Boy
probably
Scout. And then as an adult, it
yeah.
just didn't work out for him. But and look,
became an Eagle Scout.
as an old Boy Scout and an old Eagle Scout, I'll tell you,
There
it,
you
it
go.
kicks in at the weirdest times. And
That's just such an interesting punchline. Well,
mhm.
what do you do? I sell TVs.
I bet. Well, I mean, they go through that whole bit later where he talks about like all the crappy jobs he's had. I used to fix copiers. He
Yeah.
was like Office Space. And then he has that real poignant moment too, where he talks about being
Mhm.
a shitty husband, but he was a good dad, and all this stuff. And he's kind of. But also like you have that. But and it's one of my nits that I'm going to pick about this movie is that you try to have that while you have all this other crazy shit going on, and it doesn't really
Mhm.
mesh. But before we get to that, when we meet them. I immediately think like, oh, he's gathered these people together and is leading them to safety in some way because
Mhm.
he knows something about that military base. He's not telling us. I'm with you because he's like, you don't want to go that way. I promise you, you don't want to go that way. I'm like, this dude, like that's his cover that he works at Best Buy. Like he's CIA or something. So,
Yeah.
No, because he says we tried to go that way and we started with 8 people, and then they're down to 3.
yeah,
So I feel like maybe they were just like, well, we'll go to the military base. That'll be safe because that is pretty much what everyone would assume to do,
yeah.
right? And then you get 3 blocks down the road, you're like, nope, everyone's dead. We're going back.
Hey, look, the chicks in the Night of the Comet figured that out too, and it wasn't a bad move. All right, talk about running from a mall to something else. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the smart. It's not a bad idea, but and I love that Ving Rhames. This whole thing is like, I got to go get my brother there
Hmm.
or whatever, and I'm like, okay, cool. And but it's gone.
Yeah.
It's short-lived, which is
yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunate.
yeah.
But
Which I
Maul
wish
is smart.
the mall is smart, but now it's like I think that a lot of people that like zombie movies are like now mall and zombie is like peanut butter and jelly. It's
Or they're
just you kind of expect it now.
or they're synonymous because if you go to a mall, it is a thing that's barely alive and it's
Yeah.
just shuddering along. Like if you go to
Yeah.
the mall in my
It's
hometown,
just
Ron knows where I'm
totally
talking
different.
about. That thing is, I don't know how it's still there. So
It's there because they paid off the land.
it's like anchored by 2 stores and a bunch of murals. Like, but the Orange
I
Julius is still open. So
I kid you not. I guess I can say this now. I was in an episode of The Handmaid's Tale, and
nice.
they used the costume and loading location for everybody, and they used a mall. And I was like,
Mm.
well, this surely can't work, right? Because it's a mall. Well, that particular part of the mall, I won't say like the actual like company because I don't know if that's appropriate or if that's going to get anybody in trouble, but it had shut down. So they used it for anything actively going on
Wow.
for film in the area. And I was just like, it's just this giant, and it's one of those like major companies that always takes up like a quarter of the mall. So
Hmm.
I'm like, it's just a shell
Yeah.
that we use for costumes and stuff, which is probably what they did for this film too.
I mean, it's funny to think about the mall being this big, vibrant. I mean, now we don't think about it like
Yeah.
that anymore, but
Mhm.
at one time and in the early 2000s, yeah, it would have been this big, gaudy, like full of everything.
That was a
Yeah,
Yeah.
fancy coffee shop.
Mhm.
this was a decommissioned mall in Toronto.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, it was the same thing. It was the exact opposite of what they did with the original movie, where they shot it at night in a real mall. That was an active working mall during the daytime. This one was a decommissioned mall that was going to be closed down. So they were like, "Can we just take it over and shoot our movie there?" And they were like, "Yes." Kind of like how in our local, one of the local mall I went to as a child, um, it is just a place for Amazon to park their delivery vehicles now.
Oh.
There's still lots of stuff on the inside of the mall, but they turned the old Sears into like a BJ's Cost Club, one of those
Mhm.
things.
Mm.
So it's a mega store, and they also have a giant arcade that is nothing but Japanese claw machines that people love, and also the best Chinese food in town.
Okay,
Oh.
fair. Chinese food at the mall is pretty good. So, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
even the ones here in Charlotte, they're pretty good. So,
Mhm.
but no, I
Yeah.
mean, I do love that they get to this mall and, of course, they gotta fight their way through or whatever. And the first thing they do is run into the most heavily armed mall security guards ever known to humankind.
Paul
Um,
Blart. Mall
And
cop.
there, I was taking notes while I was writing it, and there was one point I wrote the note, "Okay, mall cop" or Paul Blart, something
Did
like
you
that.
really?
I mean, he's got his like little lackeys and everything, though. But
Who's buying this shit? What is this guy selling? No one's.
right. Well, hey, Terry and Bert were buying it, or whatever
I know.
his cohorts are. They were just running.
It was
Bart, yeah,
so
Terry and Bart
funny.
are right there. So,
So funny. I'm sure. I bet honestly, mall cops had some weight that they could throw around at a point in time, but
sure.
During the zombie
maybe
apocalypse,
I
yes.
know. And then we've got like our big beefy real cop that's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
Who are these assholes? Come on,
Let's not kid ourselves.
man.
They brought those weapons from
What?
home every day.
Yes.
those were not issued to them. It's just funny that they had,
We have
and
the
two,
Yeah.
I know it's a thing in the original movie. There is a gun store there's like gun stores in all of the mall, that they're constantly like raiding, stuff from. But apparently
Yeah.
they brought enough like provisions with them to like have enough ammo. Now they end up going to the gun store later and raiding it out, but
right.
on their way out of Dodge. But they don't seem to like be worried about lack of ammo for a while. So maybe there's one still, maybe there's a Dick's attached to the mall and it's got, the gun
Well,
still out or something.
wasn't one of the sports shops like kind of well I know the sports shop I kind of in my mind I was like, "Oh, it's a Dick's." So that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's
I
what I was
assumed
thinking too.
that
Yeah, like
too.
a
Yeah.
Cabela's, one of
Yeah.
those is just attached
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will say the elevator scene where they have to keeping the doors open. I
yeah,
couldn't I couldn't help but giggle during all of that because they were like, "We're talking. Keep the doors open." So
yeah.
stupid, but I was
No, but
giggling.
that's and I feel like that's James Gunn, like
Yes,
his touches on
absolutely.
this is to weave that type of humor in inappropriate moments in the movie, and
Yeah,
that mostly works.
yeah.
It's as it trails on, I'll get into the stuff that I'm going to pick on. But again, when we meet all these people, I mean, I get it. It makes sense. They're all there, and I get the kick out of the CJ's like trying to protect all of them all. It's like, nope, not gonna let you steal stuff. You're locking everybody up in the home store.
That
Right.
I was like, really?
All of them
What?
all? Really?
That's why I made the joke in the plot summary. I was like, nobody's coming to
No,
work, bro.
no, Lindsay, you go, because I think you and I are on the same page,
Yeah.
but you go.
No, I had the same thing, Jay, Ryan. Yeah. No, what are they gonna steal and where are they gonna go with it?
The oat milk from the coffee shop.
Honestly.
Although when they wake up in the morning, like they send the lackey security guard, like, I want mine with double foam latte this
Yeah,
morning or
Yeah, that
something
was
like
great.
that.
bougie,
But it's
bougie
funny.
security cops.
I feel like that's just CJ finally got a little bit of power, and it went immediately to his horse handlebar mustached head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'd see that.
Oh, he is
right.
definitely
For
the
sure.
the background of respect my authority. Like he is all of that. Like
I actually felt like it was going that way, especially when we got to one of the cameos in this movie where we have the like preacher
yeah, let's talk about
talking
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
to him. And for me, I was like, oh, are we going to go like it's the kind of like end of times. Somebody's going to become that particular stereotype that we sometimes see in horror films, especially in like these apocalyptic films. And it didn't. And I was kind of disappointed in that. But yeah, that was one of the lovely cameos that we got
Yeah.
from
Ken Free. Yeah. I'm with you, Ryan. Like, I get why the scenes are in there with him and stuff,
Mhm.
but it doesn't amount to anything. Like, that doesn't
Right.
change the way any of these people operate. Like, because again, this movie is
Yeah.
not here to provide any answers as to why any of this happened. And
Mhm.
it's just supposed to, I don't, but I don't know what it's trying to say then. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Right.
more interesting to me if we don't have any of that. Like, what's the neatest thing is when all the outside communication gets turned off, you know?
Mhm.
Because, and he's, I think at one point, he's like, they're just saying the same thing they've been saying the last 12 hours. I'm like, yeah, because it's on delay now. Like, everybody's dead or gone, That's,
Yeah.
and that would be the disconcerting part is that you don't have any way of getting information anymore.
Right.
But to have just that random cable access preacher, like I say, the mean Joel Osteen type up there
Right.
saying all this, like, what did you expect would happen when you do this, that, and the other? And I was like,
Mhm.
so what are you trying to say? And then it doesn't amount to anything. I was like, well,
Oh,
what's the point?
right, because
I
they've
think it
built.
just
Oh no, you go ahead. Sorry, Ron.
I think it just serves the purpose to further make things a little creepier because you've got the fire and brimstone preacher who's clearly broadcasting from uh a broom closet
Yeah.
in a
Church
pirate
somewhere.
television station,
Yeah.
taking advantage of the fact that there's no actual TV on the air anymore, and he's just pumping it directly out into the air, straight up into the airwaves on the UHF feed. And also, it's so Ken Faree could say, "When there's no more room in hell, the dead shall walk the earth," just like in the original movie. Except
Yes.
he doesn't talk about his Haitian voodoo grandma when he's telling it this time.
Thankfully, uh, we didn't have that going on in this, but no, I I don't know. All of this is it's. Can I say this too? And this may be an unpopular opinion as well. I really would have been fine if we just kept it like these 7 people. I don't know that I needed the extra busload of people coming in. You know? Now I know what that purpose is because in the other movies we talked about Tom Savini's got the gang and that's what sort of penetrates the mall and creates problems. But the other thing you got to remember too in the original movie, the zombies are already in the mall when they get there. They just sort of work away locking them all out into different stores and stuff, and then they just can stay away from them because those zombies are really slow. And we haven't talked about the big thing. And I remember this being hashtag controversy at the time is that these zombies are fleet of foot. And to that point, Skechers has a commercial out now about these kids going like, I'm not afraid of zombies that can't run. And then the zombies go to a shoe store and they get the new Skechers and they literally chase the kids down.
Clearly, you have not watched World War Z
Oh, I
because
did. And I erased it from my memory the minute
no,
I
no,
watched
no.
it.
I did too. I meant like the kids in the commercial. I was like, clearly you have not watched or seen anything about World War Z because they're sprinters, which is
Yeah.
great.
But what do y'all think of that? What do y'all think about that dynamic that now the zombies can move like that? That they have speed.
I just don't like, well, that I can't say I don't like it. Here's my issue with like this zombie genre world that we live in is that there is no consistency aside from to kill a zombie, you have to destroy the brain.
Mm.
They're all like, they become zombies by a different manner. They move different. Sometimes it's just if they bite you, you come alive. Sometimes it's if you're already dead, you can come alive and be a zombie. Like, there's no, it's not, they're not werewolves. They're not vampires. For whatever reason, for whatever reason, we can just make a zombie movie and create new lore around it and do our own thing all willy-nilly, and it's just chaos and it's change and I don't like it. That's my
Okay, so I will make the argument that weirdly enough, the Fast Zombies doesn't come from this movie. Fast Zombies started in like 1980 with the movie City of the Living Dead.
You know what, Ron? I don't want your lip, okay?
But sorry,
Okay.
facts don't care about your feelings,
I was
Lizzie.
I was going to give Danny Boyle some credit, man. I thought this was a
No,
28 days
predates
later
everybody.
No,
Like
I just
1980, like literally like 2 years after Dawn of the Dead hit in Italy. They're like, well, how can we turn this up to 11? It's like, oh yeah, the zombies will run fast. They'll also be able to use weapons, and also they'll rip some girls' shirts off as
That's very
the food
Italian, by the way.
because it's Italy. Yeah,
very Italian.
and
Okay.
that's been a thing since the entire time that zombies have been a thing, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Somebody's
is it just some zombies move slow and some zombies move fast, and we're just like it just depends on what kind of zombie you are?
it just it just depends on who's making the movie and do they
Okay,
want
that's
to overwhelm you with numbers or do they want you to have like individual zombies be a legitimate threat to your survivors.
yeah.
'Cause, yeah,
Honestly, I love a fast-moving zombie. I think it's absolutely horrifying. In all like seriousness, I
yeah.
do like the fast-moving zombie. They really got some sprinters for this movie too.
This is all owes itself to a lot of the close quarters stuff that James Cameron did in Aliens, though, with the way
Hmm.
that those like basically dancers that he hired to wear those suits would just come at those Marines just out of nowhere. They were so fast. And I was watching this time, it really hit me. I was like, I think Zack Snyder really loves the movie Aliens because he recreates it a lot. Like
As he
anytime there's
should.
dark, quiet spaces, hell is coming out of the corner and over the top of people and all the dripping stuff. The number of times that happens to people, I'm like, that's straight out of Aliens.
I have a very important question for all of you. How many times can we make a zombie movie? Like, in what year can we make a zombie movie when people are like, oh yeah, I've seen zombie movies. I know exactly what's happening. This is a zombie apocalypse. Because in 2004, our lead characters are like, I have no idea what's happening. And I'm like, these zombie movies have been out for decades. You should know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
What? What?
But
I
see,
know you.
that's the post-Scream world that all these movies now have to exist in, is that you live in a world where you grew up with horror movies and then you
Yeah.
become in one and you don't realize it. It's the
Santa
Pirates of the
Barbara.
Caribbean line is you best be paying attention to zombie movies. You're in one, you know?
Yeah.
That's how
So
it
at what
goes.
point do we have a zombie movie right now where people are like, oh yeah, this is a zombie? Like, do they know that they're in what they're in? Is there one that exists? And will
Dawn of
there
the
ever
Dead?
be?
Or what Walking Dead, right? Like that whole
Walking
Ah,
Dead.
No,
that's not a
Walking
movie
Dead,
though,
no.
right?
no,
That's
Um,
it's a TV show,
No.
but
TV
In
show.
Walking Dead, they're in a universe where they have no concept of zombies.
okay.
That's why they call them walkers.
Okay.
Shaun of the Dead.
Mm,
I love that
Okay.
film.
That's a spoof though.
Well, they didn't even really know that they were zombies to begin with, like during
Well,
all
yeah,
of
but
it.
they lampshade it pretty well, so you could think it was just, oh,
Mhm.
it's a drunk guy.
mhm.
And when Nick Frost is like, it's a zombie, and Simon Pegg's like, don't say the Z word, that's ridiculous. Which is a reasonable take. If somebody said, oh, there's a zombie over there, I'd be like, yeah, sure, man. Buffalo Soldiers.
Do they address it in I can't remember and I apologize. The Santa Clarita Diet, I think is what it's
I
called.
remember that.
Oh, that was a
Yeah.
great show. I did
That was
watch
a
that
great
show.
show. But they addressed that she was a zombie, didn't they?
They
During
did.
that?
I
Yeah.
mean,
Mhm.
that was a very
Self-aware.
self-aware thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there are a few, like the Zombieland, I guess,
Oh
is
yeah.
one
Yeah.
of them where they
Yeah.
know. That's a
That
great
yeah,
one too.
that's a
Yeah.
very self-aware,
Yeah.
like,
It
the
has
first of ours
rules.
to go. You don't forget cardio. Yeah.
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 It's
You gotta
only
Number one.
stretch,
only
you
as
gotta
Jesse
stretch.
Eisenberg and his
Jesse
Let's leave it.
Eisenbergness.
ultra nerd way can do. You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
Talk
Hey,
about
the rules apply though.
the
Now
rules
all of
do
us are
apply,
like
but
double tap.
Yeah.
hey, look,
Yeah.
Look, Jay, as the
no lie.
person on
Woody
this,
Harrelson saves that movie in every possible way. So
I
Actually,
can't think of anybody who does more cardio than you, Jay. So
That's fair.
I don't know if that's true or not. I still can't outrun a damn thing. So
you don't have to outrun it. You just have to. It just has to give up and attack somebody like me who's not running away from shit.
you don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be faster than the person beside you.
Yeah.
well, see, but I have the problem of tripping and falling when
Lindsay
I
would
run a
run.
lot.
No,
So
Lindsay would beat me. It's fine.
oh,
I'd be zombie chow.
Jay would
It's
definitely be ahead of me. We've proven that.
until I trip and fell, as I just said, and then I would be toast. But
But
Uh,
I do like that the 2004 does introduce the fact that they do run because in
yeah,
the 1978 they are just kind of
just
slowly
stumbling
making
about.
their way and
yeah.
occasionally they're like look out behind you, one's behind you, like how did they get behind you and you didn't notice? They've been walking the same like 2 miles per hour that they
But they
have
And
pay
been.
homage
doing,
to that in
yeah.
this one when they're like when all the faux celebrities are stumbling about the parking lot and
Right.
they're just
Mhm.
picking them
Oh, that's
off,
right.
which is very nihilistic.
Yeah.
But
I will say that one thing that I noticed throughout this movie, which I found kind of frustrating, is that, and I think Lindsay kind of alluded to it, is that there are occasional zombies that follow their own set of rules that the other zombies don't. And one, I know we'll get into it in a little bit, but like one in particular that caught my eye was the one who was holding the gas tank, and
mhm.
he looked at it
Oh,
and he
the
went,
big bus
"Oh."
zombie.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have this. I'm gonna toss it back." And I'm
Oh, I
like,
didn't think he was tossing it back. I just thought he was like weightlifting it because, he's
"Oh,
a big bus zombie. So,
I thought he was legit like
I
trying to like lift it to get it away. At least that was my
I
interpretation of
I
it."
I think that's an homage to actually what happens in the first one is this one cop like tries to shove his gun through the door, the zombie grabs it, and they just say, just let him have it. He doesn't know what to do with it. And the zombie literally walks around with the gun like this the rest of the time. Like he doesn't know what to do with it. And I'm like, I feel like they're just paying homage to that again. It's
You
like-
actually get that with the
hilarious.
shotgun later.
yeah,
Yeah.
When they're
yeah.
all breaking into Andy's gun store.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Ving Rhames is just like, here, you take it, and gives the zombie the shotgun and leaves.
Yeah, he just doesn't know what to do with it. So
Andy.
yeah, it could be the same thing. But no, I mean it's but back to my other question then was how are y'all with the fact that the group like multiplies at this point? We get all these other people in here because I could have done without everybody else. I'll be honest with you. There wasn't
I don't
anybody
know.
else I cared about. You know?
I like seeing Ty Burrell as like an asshole. That was just fun for me. But
He was really good
yeah.
at it. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
for the sake of the movie itself, I don't think it was really all that
I-
necessary, but
I
didn't
liked
bother
it
me.
because you needed to have some sort of clashing in the group. They had
And they
already like
provided exposition. Like they provided
Yeah.
a lot of information that the group didn't have about like where had been overtaken and where hadn't.
yeah, and the nice info dump.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Norma gets
I
a lot
love
of
Ty
that.
Burrell in this. It's my favorite thing Ty Burrell's ever done.
Yeah.
I really get a big laugh out of Tucker when Matfer and his daughter show up, and
Yeah.
Sarah Polly's like, "Well, okay, well, after we shoot him, let's just shoot Tucker." Tucker's like, "Whoa, hey, I wasn't bitten, I just fell."
Yeah.
He's like you, Jay. He just fell,
Yeah, poor Tucker.
Yeah.
So
and he got a
There
couple good like laugh lines out of me with his responses to stuff like, we got 38 of these pussy 9 mils, and then he
yeah.
got 15 of that 357.
Exactly.
that
Yeah. He's like
that bit was good. That was a
Yeah.
good bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's value because the script is well written. James Gunn does a good job with it. There's reason for them to be there. I'm just saying, like, I think you can have an interesting movie if it was just these 7 people,
Yeah.
and you can have the conflict within because Mekhi Phifer is hiding his wife from everybody because he knows she's been bitten. After that little bit drops, they get that information. Like, once you've been bitten, that's it. And so they start figuring that out. Then he's like, well, I definitely got to hide her. And the nurse could at some point, Anna was going to be like, she's like super pregnant, dude. Like, I need to go see her. I'm going to go do that. They could have had a whole argument about that. And maybe they had figured out some way to string, ropes across or whatever, and Andy could have been more of a presence and radioing them, going like, "Y'all, there ain't nobody coming." Like he could have been the info dump because when he finally gets a couple lines, he's pretty good. So I'm just saying, like, they're fun, and each of the little characters and they're there for the body count. I mean, you got the cross dressing preacher guy who wants to confess to CJ when he's locked up, which I don't know. I
That
love
was a
that.
good bit.
That's
Yeah.
definitely
That
in the
also made me
extended
laugh a
cut.
lot.
That gets a lot more in the extended cut than it does in the theatrical. That's the big extended piece. You have that. You have the blonde girl that hooks up with Steve in the Victoria's Secret store. Who's videoing it, of course, because he's that kind of asshole.
Why
And
not?
you have the night bitch from Kick-Ass is there. Lindy Booth
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
is Matt
Oh.
Furr's daughter, and you have Max Headroom with great makeup, by the way. The way they like his zombie makeup is incredible. I thought he was sick.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I had to go look it up. I was like, oh no, he just like really looks gaunt. So, but yeah, I mean, they add things to it. The most useful one of all of them is outside of Andy is Norma, the truck driver, because she's the one that's really got all the info.
I
And
love
Mhm.
Norma.
And
and Norma's
she's
fun.
great.
Yeah,
What
I
a
did like
shot.
Norma.
That
Yeah.
headshot
hmm
killed it. I mean,
Yeah.
well, literally, but
Yeah.
she like it was great. We were watching. I mean, yeah, she was good. Sad that whole like that whole zombie baby scene.
We'll get to
So
that.
I feel like
Yeah,
Hold on to
All right.
Zombie Baby because I got
All
thoughts
right.
there too. Yeah.
we'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
I feel like they're very important for the destabilization bit, because you have to have something that throws off the equilibrium of this society, right? You got to have some internal issues that allow the external threat to get in,
Mhm.
because otherwise you're just going to have like Tom Savini show up with another biker gang and just bust through the doors.
And yeah, and I hear you.
I feel like it makes
yeah.
more sense for this kind of community to collapse from the inside rather than from the outside.
Well, it collapses because they make the stupidest decision possible when they should make the other one. But we'll get
Which
there when it
time?
happens. Yeah, well, yeah, fair point, Ryan. But we do need to talk about Andre Luda and the baby though, because that is a harsh tonal shift in this movie. After we have montage with Richard Cheese first, so which I guess it's just to show how boring it could be if you lived in the mall, or maybe how not boring it could be. I don't know. Like a couple of them are having a good time, but there is you have that whole thing, and then you whiplash into this very serious, like dark and fucked up horror movie moment where this guy's wife she's turning into a zombie, she's going to die, and then she's going to give zombie birth. And it's pretty gross. I mean, they give you everything but the knocked up shot. I mean, that's pretty much all you don't get out of this.
I thought it was gonna bust out alien style.
Same.
So did I.
Yes.
Kind of what
Yeah.
I wanted, to be honest, but
I
'cause
thought
she
when
was already
Andre like
dead.
I thought when Andre like leaned down to kiss the belly, I was like, that baby is gonna come out and just eat his face.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And it was just like me, me. And he's like, the baby's coming. I'm like, that's your first thought? That's your first concern after all of this.
He was crazy.
Okay.
Like that was his.
I mean,
Yeah, he
yeah.
went fully crazy.
Well, he was
Right.
fully into I have to bring this kid into the world. I have to have this normal family, give it all the chances I didn't have, all that,
Right.
whatnot. He's got to do that whole thing. But I love that Ving Rhames does have a great scene when he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you feeling bad? We'll go in there and say some Hail Marys and work it out
I
with
love-
God when you flush," or whatever he said. I'm like, that was great.
That was a great scene. And I do understand like where Andre is coming from. I guess my other thing is like, how did Anna not, like, I think we kind of talked about this earlier, go, she's really pregnant. I haven't seen her in a while. And he's
Yeah.
like, she's great. She's fine. I've locked her in the toy store. She's all right. And no one went,
But I also think
Okay.
that that's part of the adding more people to the group.
Yeah.
They're kind of able to just kind of sneak off and do their own thing.
like diluted a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
and
when they
because
do show
because
up,
we
she's
see,
busy. Yeah.
yeah, and when we
Yeah.
see Anna, she's always hanging out with what's his name?
Jake Weber, the TV salesman.
The TV
Jake Weber, the
salesman.
TV
Yeah.
salesman.
I think his
yes.
name's Michael in the movie, but I just call him Jake Weber.
His name's Jake Weber. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
TV
that's one of the
salesman?
things that the montage establishes, right? They're settling into a routine of
Yeah.
normalcy in this place. Whether it's Ty Burrell playing, just whacking golf balls into the crowd of zombies below them, which is a great way to point out, hey, you are really screwed if you try to get out of here any conventional way,
Yeah.
without saying it. So you got that. You've got, Ving Rhames is out there playing chess with Andy through the whiteboards. You've got them watching Animal House, which probably moved a few DVDs for
John Landis.
for the production company, who probably was like, "Hey, why don't you just put our movie in there? Maybe we'll sell a couple of those. That just came out on DVD. Watch it on the big screen TV and sell some TVs." Not Ty Burrell. Sell some TVs. TV salesman Jake Weber.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Let's show you what this. Have you seen what this system can do, Anna? Let me just show you. It's the JX498 sound card. Like you can see him going into the whole or if he would have done like the 40-year-old version thing, like if I hear the Michael McDonald song one more time, I'm gonna be a zombie and eat somebody's face. So,
I also like CJ with his top 10 reasons for
He's reading
communication.
Cosmo.
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust is, and he's like, no
Trust
one's
is number
listening to me.
one.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm like, oh,
Poor
poor
CJ.
man.
Yeah.
He is like, yeah, like when he's not being a dick, he's kind of just a really weirdly
Lonely man.
sweet, sympathetic,
Yeah.
dude. He's just a big softy.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Yeah,
also like
funny.
really like in the end, even though he's like super selfish or whatever, he's really not. Like he puts
Mhm.
Yeah.
himself in harm's way a lot, and especially at the very end.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him. He's got a great end, but I mean, I get you too. Like you have to have this to show like the society set up so that it then can break down or
Mhm.
whatever. But it's just I don't know. It's just again the tonal shifts in this movie just whiplash me. It's just like
Well,
oh
it's very similar to the original movie in that sense because you get a lot of the stuff in the middle of the original Dawn of the Dead is just them hanging out at the mall,
yeah, they're skating and whatnot. Yeah.
skating. They're trying on outfits from the fancy dress store. They go to the fur coat store and everybody's got a different fur coat on.
Hmm.
They go to the home goods store and they set up like a fancy dinner and with
Hmm.
all of the gold cutlery and stuff. And it's kind of just the middle, like what would you do when you were if you were trapped in a mall?
Hmm.
Okay, you've
Mhm.
done all those things. Now what are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do with the next month? What are you going to do with the rest of your life? And all these things that you're using to distract yourself from the terrible situation that's happening on the outside. Like you are fresh out of distractions.
Well,
You've read every book in that joint.
what they do is, I think Ving Rhames is the one that's like, we need a new game. He started getting beat by in chess,
Yeah.
and so they start doing like Sniper, the celebrity lookalikes below. And Sarah Polly has that great line, yeah, right behind Ron's head there. Sarah Polly's got that great line. You guys had some pretty messed up childhoods, right? There's some stuff going on there. And but it's the best line Ty Burrell gets in the whole thing. He's like, yeah, hey, you know what? If I ever turn one of those things, please shoot me in the fucking head. And she's like, no problem. I'm like, well, that's gonna happen now.
Yep.
But it does show like they. I think you're right, Ron. At that point, they've gotten to the point where they are bored, wildly enough, with surviving in the mall. Because what are we gonna? How long is this gonna last? Don't know. And I got questions like, how well stocked is that mall for
Well,
14 people?
they also established that they're starting to run out of stuff.
Okay.
Because remember, he's like, you got that lemon stuff? I was like, no, Ty Burrell likes to put it in his booze.
Okay. Yeah.
Use the vanilla, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty well established that they're, running out of things that aren't like shelf stable canned goods. I would imagine that
Yeah.
this place has a pretty stocked like fallout shelter, one of those deals,
Mm.
and
Because
probably for various natural disasters. Like imagine there's like some big boxes of emergency rice and whatnot.
or spam like they had in the first movie because they
Oh.
that's how they find it is all there. Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah.
But yeah, they're starting to run out of things that make life worth living, like coffee.
True. Fair. Even in the zombie apocalypse, I gotta have my my coffee. That was a sweet coffee shop though, Ryan. You've called that a couple different times. I'm with you. That was a really nice coffee shop.
I kept looking at it being like every so often I'd be like, oh, that's really nice that they have a bar in the middle of like their mall. And then I went, no, that's a coffee shop. That's just a really fancy coffee shop.
Mhm.
It
And then
does
my
look
brain
like a
went,
bar.
it does look like a bar, but then I'm also like, I wonder like what like chain that was, if anything, or if it was like just like a kind of like fancy mom and pop shop. And I was like, is it Pete's? It's not Starbucks.
Nah, it wasn't. It
No.
wasn't Pete's because it wasn't blowtorched. So,
And it
Ah, fair
wasn't
enough.
Caribou because it didn't have all of the
oh
like,
yeah,
the Caribou has like the
the faux
Yeah.
Panama Jack
crunchy stuff.
Yeah.
knockoff stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hallowed grounds,
there you go.
I love Ground.
What a great name.
which is
Love
a
it.
great name for a
It's a
coffee
great
shop.
name for a
Yes.
coffee shop.
Actually, that would
But
be a
there are quite a few coffee shops here, or there historically have been. RIP to my favorite pregame coffee,
Mm,
that were coffee shops that were also bars.
okay.
fancy.
I could
They
see
sold
that.
you all variety of brew.
Yep. Ah, there you go. There's another great
Yeah.
idea. All the brew. Ah, your morning and afternoon brew. Uh, yeah,
Your
they've
AM and your PM.
yeah, there
Yep.
you go. So, but it all really what turns everything is that they're starting to get like all these supplies together. You're right, Ron. They start counting up their how much water we got. Do we got any of this? And then that's when Norma goes to check on Luda and Andre and the baby, and it's bad. And
Mhm.
her and Andre get into the shootout, and you know I'd love Mekhi Phifer holding on to whatever was supposed to be that small baby.
Yeah, that tiny potato of a
Yeah,
child, and then with
exactly.
a full-grown baby in another
Right,
shot. But you
right.
brought up slow-mos, Jay,
Oh
when we
yeah,
were talking about this, and the
yeah.
slow-mo of her taking a puff of the cigarette and
Hmm.
dropping it on the ground and then stepping on it. And I'm like,
Slow mo of all the guns and yes.
yes,
Uh,
which I know we'll get to later. But then baby zombie Jesus.
oh yeah, let's talk about him. Wow, or her. I guess it's a her. It's a baby girl. He
For
says
her.
so.
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah.
The eye effects, pretty good for 2004. I gotta say,
Hmm.
Yeah.
there's some pretty good effects again.
There's some good special effects in this film. You can definitely, like them when you see them, unfortunately, but at the same time, you're like, you appreciate it for what it is
Mm,
for 2004.
yeah, good practical effect.
Yeah.
So.
Hmm. Except for the
Yeah.
potato that was the child for 2 seconds, and then a full grown baby in another.
And I do want to give a quick shout out just because you just mentioned the slow-mo bit.
Mhm.
Quick shout out to whoever mixed the sound on this movie, because when like the stepping on the cigarette or the stepping on the carpet, the sound effects in this
The
movie
Foley,
were
yeah.
like
Hmm.
right on point, and it was extra wet and squishy when
Yeah.
it
Hmm.
like it
Yeah. With
Yeah.
was
the
it
yeah.
yeah, it really hit. Like
I mean,
that was
when she sprayed, like you
Oh
kind of
God.
like you could just feel it. Like it was like,
yeah.
oh, and apparently
Yeah.
like they did a lot of different versions of that, and that was the acceptable one that they went with. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they said that every time Mekhi Phifer's face is that was a genuine reaction. He did not know what was about to happen because obviously the actress is not there. It's just it's just a prop.
Right.
But he did not know what was coming at him, and every time it was something different. He was just really wigged out by it. So
They had a one of the things revealed in the trivia is that they had a blood cart staged nearby where they could just keep making gallons and gallons of fake blood for those
Oh my
scenes
god.
I mean, they
because
have
they used
gallons of it in this
so
movie.
much blood spray. They were like, "No, we
Yeah,
need more. We need
yeah,
more. Whip up another gallon on the blood cart."
yeah.
Here
I
comes the
mean,
blood cart.
but it's a
Convenient.
really like visceral scene because you like I had misremembered something too because I thought like Mekhi Phifer realizes his wife is a zombie, but she gives birth. He takes her out, and then he sees the baby, and like he has to make that choice. I'd forgotten that. No, he gets gunned down with Norma. They shoot each other down, and that Anna, the one who's like, don't shoot anybody in the head, has to shoot the baby. That was like, woo. And I'll be honest with you, like. I kind of hate that she did it. I'm like, that needed to be somebody else. Like, that felt like a character moment where she just wouldn't have done it. Like, even though it needs to be done, I don't think she would have done it.
No,
Yeah.
because Anna's not established as being against shooting zombies. She's against shooting people who might become zombies.
Right.
That was the whole
Mhm.
that was the whole conflict with her and
Matt Frewer
t-
and
yeah, her
Jake
and Matt
Weber.
Frewer
Mm.
and TV salesman
Yeah.
because they're establishing that she's very strong about not killing people because they're bitten. She has no problem with killing them after they've been bitten and after they die.
Mhm.
I kind of
So I
agree
don't.
with Jay though on that, if I'm honest. Like I kind of wish that it wasn't the person that was like trying to be because she goes out of her way to be like, if we go back to like, well, I think that when they're bitten they turn into zombies, but I don't really know it. And she wants to be absolutely nowhere near where any of that is. And for her to do that to a child, I don't know whether they meant for that to be like a turning point for her. But I'm kind of with Jay on this. I kind of think it should have been somebody else who I don't know, but I
I mean,
that's just
I
me.
think at that point you've established it enough where she could be like, and she just needs to turn and look at TV salesman, and he's like, he just pushes her away, and boom, and that's it. Like,
I
Right, because
didn't
she's gone out of the way to be out of the room when I think her name is Nicole's father is being killed.
yeah.
Like she doesn't want to be anywhere near that.
And
So it's
and
just kind of
and salesman doesn't do that when Andy does it, the cop. He
Mhm.
waits in there, locks himself in there with him, and he waits until he wakes up and he
Mhm.
shoots him. And you hear it in the distance. So,
Mhm.
um,
That just for me felt like her fuck this shit moment. Like,
mm,
that's
Mm.
it. I'm done. I don't even care. Like, I'll kill a baby, a zombie baby. But
well, that is the point when they've started to form the escape plan
yeah,
too, because
Mhm.
Dickhead
Yeah.
has dropped that he has a boat, and they're like,
Mhm.
that's actually not a
Of course he
terrible
has a
idea.
boat.
You know?
Even though he's like, "You think this is a good idea? Okay. I guess we'll lead to montage number 2,
Hmm.
which leads
Well,
to Mad Max."
yeah,
yeah. Okay, yeah. The bus scene is pretty wild. Like I love what they do to these buses, using nothing but what they got.
hmm,
Mhm.
In the mall. I'm like, okay, they do a pretty good job of tricking them out for
yeah.
what they have there for just a bunch of randos.
Did
I mean, they
we
do have
oh,
access to a lot of those like fold down aluminum doors.
Yeah.
mhm.
So like that's
Yeah,
perfect. You can't stick your hand through it.
yeah.
Yeah. That's smart. And then to have the chainsaw uh
Mhm.
ability, which I
That
don't know that I
TV
needed.
salesman was so proud of that. That was
He
like
it got him
He
laid by the nurse. I'd be
I mean,
proud of it
yeah.
too. So
because she felt that was she was like he goes, "I'm trying," and she goes, "Yeah, you are,"
yeah,
or whatever she said.
and the way she says it is like, and you don't have to because we're all gonna be dead eventually anyway. It's like, come on, man, we've been
That's a
flirting around this for a damn hour and a half.
that's a nice thought. Put the chainsaw down.
The end of the
Please,
world. Stick it in me, and let's just.
not
The
the
chainsaw
chainsaw.
or oh, no, that's somebody else who gets that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The blonde got
Or
that.
that was that scene. Oh boy. But
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But no, I mean, I do love that it's that's the thing that I was wondering. I was like, are these two really going to hook up? Because they seem like they've just formed this good relationship, like
Yeah.
friendship, and they both have been through a lot of trauma, and they've obviously opened up to each other a lot or whatever. And then when that was over, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna get it on in the bus and then go back and rally the troops. But
Yeah.
you know,
I I felt like the time for people to deal with trauma, which I guess would make sense like during a zombie apocalypse, is very fast because like we
hmm
have the moment with like Anna where she's putting on her shoes and she's like trying to cry and then one of the security lackeys is like opening the door being like, "You done, sweetheart?" And then we've got the cop who's like just learned that his brother probably is dead at the fort,
hmm
and then he's like messaging Andy, and Andy's like, "Oh, so what's the bad news?"
right,
And then we have TV salesman. I'm
yeah,
gonna put a question
Yeah.
mark. No, I'm gonna put a question mark because I still don't think he's a TV
Yeah.
salesman. And he's like, "My
Agent
worst
Orange.
thing." I felt like that was kind of like his Woody Harrelson in Zombieland movie
Mm.
moment where he's like, "The one thing I was good at is being a dad," kind of like in Zombieland where you found out, oh, he wasn't talking about a dog at all, and
hmm
it just goes so quickly. But it, I guess, kind of makes sense given that it's a zombie apocalypse and you don't have time to really feel remorseful about any of this because that also happened to Nicole because she had to leave her dad when
hmm
Hmm.
he had to get shot. And then she's spray painting all over the
Yeah.
walls in the
She's
montage.
tagging them
That's how
all.
she's keeping herself busy. Yeah.
But she's dating the like younger security
Yeah.
guard too. Like they live. They make it to the
She
end. So
she spray paints and focuses. She has a boyfriend, but she's really focused on Chips, the
oh, the
dog.
dog, the dog. Yeah, the
Yeah.
dog is
Yeah.
her like new life.
Which, oh my
So
God, I never yelled at
Valid.
somebody like a football game. That part I yelled at the screen like it was a football game. I was like, "Are you an idiot? What are you doing?" But
Believe okay.
that led to a slow-mo moment, Jay,
yes, it
when
did.
they went to go restart the generators.
Yes. We had lots of slow. Zack Snyder in slow mo. I
Mhm.
don't. I don't know, Ron. Maybe you know where that comes from for him because it is a hallmark of everything the man's ever done. Um, and like to the point that it's you can set your watch by it. Like it's going to happen. It's usually gun porn and it's people walking and it's just it's the strangest use of that effect.
Maybe he's just a huge fan of Chariots of Fire.
That
Maybe.
Zack Snyder's Chariots of Fire would be a very interesting idea, by the way.
Yeah, everyone would actually be on fire.
Yeah, they literally would. It would be like the scene in Red Dragon where Philip Seymour Hoffman is coming down the hill on fire.
I do
I was
have
thinking
a
more along the lines of Swamp Thing, where you get the guys on fire for like 5 minutes. That poor
Yeah,
stuntman.
or the first Nightmare on Elm Street where the guy in the huge where Freddy gains like 100 pounds and he
Yeah.
becomes the
Oh, I thought you
marshmallow
meant the
man.
long
Yeah.
arm
No,
thing.
no,
Yeah,
when he's set on
you know.
fire at the end, he's running up the
Oh
stairs.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So because
Freddy
the
looks
stuntman's
different.
like, you're gonna get this once, and I'm double rapping. So, so
I have a question for uh the zombie experts in this group.
be
Is
Ron.
this yeah, this is pretty much specifically for Ron. So is this a thing that zombies only want human flesh? They don't want other animal flesh, or is that just unique to this movie?
Depends on the movie, but for most purposes, they don't want animals. They're not interested in animals.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. I do think that was
Cool.
a smart
Cool, cool,
idea of
cool.
like if we're gonna
Yeah.
get Andy food, the dog is the way to go,
Yeah.
you know. But it does like lead to his demise because the zombies figure out that dog door real quick. They're like, oh, and then
That
that's
was
it.
that was one of those moments where I just was like, a zombie conveniently just happened to look down and was like, "Oh, that door's gonna close. I'm gonna grab it." And I went,
No,
Yeah. Well, they
the
heard the
zombies.
door go up, I think,
Mhm.
Well, they
right?
heard that dog making a shitload of racket,
Mhm.
That's true.
and they were probably looking at the dog when the door went up, and they were like, "Oh, that smells like stanky human in there. Let's get some
Yeah.
start the buffet."
Fair.
Poor Andy. He was.
He had to
I,
smell terrible.
Yeah.
and then
But I will
Nicole
say,
was. Oh, sorry.
on the DVD extras, there's a whole feature, like a whole like short movie of Andy
Yeah, talking to
from
himself. Yeah.
from Andy's point of view. It's fabulous. That actor's great.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I say. They
Yes.
cut his best stuff. I would have been okay if Andy
Uh,
got to do some exposition dump because he's actually good at it. That's where I
They
draw
should
that
have
from.
added that to the montage. That would have been
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, been
That
better
would've
than
been
some of the
Yeah,
other
or they
good.
should
stuff.
have like found a tape or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
you brought up
Yeah.
something, and I'm just going to ask it here or whatever because I guess maybe there's a good Planet Fitness in this, mall or something like that. But these people look really well put together, deep into a zombie apocalypse. At some point, where I feel like they probably wouldn't care anymore. Like at some
Well,
point,
they
like
do show Ving Rhames lifting weights.
yeah, I
Mhm.
know. I mean, I saw that, but I was like, that they got to be like, because they make a whole thing out about like, hey, the bathroom in here is it's just a prop. Like, can I go to the real one? But that, the mall bathroom doesn't necessarily have like a shower and all that stuff in it. I don't know. It's the dumb things I think about when I watch movies like this, just being practical me, like going, at some point, would you even care anymore? But yeah, you probably would, or maybe you
Yeah.
wouldn't because everybody's the same. I don't know, but they all still looked really nice, like by the end of it. And I thought, I think at some point everybody would have just given up.
I mean, you probably would because I feel like they're gonna make you. Like if Jay just decides, oh, I'm just not gonna shower anymore, everyone else is
I would
gonna
not be the one that decided that. I would just say that right now. But go
everyone
ahead.
else is gonna be like, no, you're gonna shower,
Yeah.
or else we're gonna throw you out the off
No,
the
I'm just
bridge,
I'm just
like
trying to
off
figure
the
out
roof.
like what I didn't need him to show it to me. God, this movie's long enough. But just to have like, oh, thank goodness that the gym's got showers. Like just a drop line or something because it doesn't make
The,
it. That's the one thing. Like, how is that in a mall? Like, I don't know where that would
that
be.
janitor closet probably has one of those uh the sprayer on a
Oh,
hose.
the hose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's probably what they're just going into the
Mhm.
janitor's closet and just spraying off real good.
Oh, okay.
And they
All right.
could get soap at the Bath and Body Works and stuff too,
True.
but
hmm
I
True.
bet
Everyone
because
smells like vanilla candles.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
a Bath and Body Works there.
Hmm.
Or they've
I
all just
think
gone nose blind at this point and they just don't
Mm.
care.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like malls, large establishments like that usually have some kind of locker room in
Okay, I
them
hadn't
for
thought
like
about that.
the employees at the very least, or like the mall Santa to go
Mm.
hmm
shower off and or whatever, get ready. I feel like there's at least one shower somewhere in a
Okay.
place that big.
Like in the building I used to work at, which was basically a big warehouse building with a bunch of offices. It was a complex of warehouses and offices. In one of the bathrooms, there was like a full 6-person shower,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that they kept like in working order with like curtains that weren't moldy and stuff because people apparently were using it.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Well, cool then. All right. I had not thought of that far. I thought one of you would have a good idea about it though, because it just at some point I was like, again, like basic hygiene, sure I get, but like everybody is trying to look nice still, and
Well,
I'm
what
like,
else are they gonna do? They're stuck in a mall, so
this is
they
true.
have
So
time
they
to
do have
try new
time.
cosmetics and go clothes shopping, and
Yeah,
like they have time to do that.
fair.
It's not like they're hurting for choice in that mall.
It's
Yeah.
true. There's
Pretty
a
big.
good bit
Yeah.
of variety in there. So that's
Yeah,
This isn't
they
a
have a Forever
2025
21.
mall. This is a
Yeah,
2004 mall.
yeah. There's
if it was
plenty
a
of stock.
2020
Yeah.
if it was a 2025 mall, they'd all be wearing airbrush T-shirts that say like "R.I.P. Big Pookie."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That'd
Yeah,
be the first place I would go would be the airbrush t-shirt shop, just so you
for
know.
sure.
Next to the Cinnabon. But
Yeah.
yeah. But no, this is when we decide, hey, let's make our run. We're gonna blow out of here with all the buses of hell and all that stuff. Like I said, twisted metal style. And it's pretty good. Again, it's a pretty good action scene. Like I don't know how scary any of this has been, by the way, for anybody. It's not remotely. Lindsay, we were talking about it off mic. Your Brian watched this with you, and he's like, "This isn't a horror movie," and I'm like, "No, he's exactly right. It's not. It's an action movie."
Yeah, I said, because I told him, I said, they're gonna be surprised that you watch this with me. And he goes, why? And I said, because you don't like horror movies. And he goes, this isn't a horror movie, it's a zombie movie. And I was like, I mean, most people would kind of classify zombie movies in a horror movie. He goes, I guess, I mean, I could see that, but
Mm.
I mean, it's fine. Like, it's just some blood and guts, and this is fine. And I was like, okay. He actually, when Luda was there, he goes, oh no, the pregnant lady got bit. I said, yeah, you know what that means? And he goes, zombie baby? And I went, zombie baby. Because he had never seen this before. So this was his first time watching it.
Real quick, Ron, tell me the zombie baby cinematic lore, because there's got to be several of these.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've seen It's Alive, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the
Those are
one I know of. So,
those are like the closest thing to the zombie babies. In a couple of different Italian movies, you see a pregnant woman get ripped open and they eat the baby. Zombies eat the fetus,
oh,
which I
okay.
guess is more like uh, less zombie baby and more like zombie veal. Uh, Veal for
Fair.
zombies. Um,
It's
Otherwise,
Yikes.
you don't get a ton of zombie babies.
Hmm.
There's been a few like in some like really low budget independent movies. People are like, "Yo, let's have a creepy zombie baby," but it's not been
I
a thing in like mainstream. This is the closest it's been to mainstream since like It's Alive.
see. I'm surprised there weren't more zombie children too outside of the opening scene, because they're all over the 1978 one. In fact, there's like a famous scene where Ken Faree has to like shoot a bunch of them, and it's like a big deal. Like all these little kids are coming after him, and he's just gunning them down.
And it's
Um,
actually just 2 kids, but they come bursting out of a closet
mhm.
after he had like shot over their heads because he's shooting it where a person like an adult head would be in the
Hmm.
closet, and he throws the door open and the kids come rushing out.
Yeah.
And it's actually a
yeah.
pretty funny
I
sequence.
guess it's just being 2004, they didn't want to do that or whatever. But I mean, hell, this movie had every other thing in it. I don't want to
Well,
have that too.
2004
Yeah.
you get
Except
2004
good
you get the big
decisions.
reveal of like they get the zombie kid out of the way very early because
Mm.
she's the inciting incident, right?
Yeah, yeah, they do. They
Yeah.
do drop Vivian off early. So,
Yeah. But to answer your question, Jay, I did not find this movie particularly scary.
mm.
There were a lot of bad decisions made.
Yeah, including leaving the mall. Can I just be on that team right now that leaving the mall was a bad idea?
Leaving the mall with zero provisions or fishing poles, or like they got on the boat with nothing, like
Yeah.
no gas, which was shown in the like post videos.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
when they got on the boat, I was like, wait, did they take anything on there with them? Like no
Nope.
water, no food, no nothing. No way to like what was the plan here? Like they
I'm
could have left the mall a week later with like a plan on what would happen when they got to the boat. And
They
they
went to rescue Andy
yeah.
and then took off from there. But I feel like they could have gotten back into the mall and refortified even after just
no because
getting the bullets and stuff.
the zombies had followed them up from the sewer.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's right.
right. I forgot that.
Because
Okay.
remember, Ty Burrell was supposed to keep the door open, but he didn't.
Yeah, because he
So the
sucks.
and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
so the
Yep.
zombies had already gotten into the building, and I feel like at that point they were like, "Well, that kind of forces our hand." Also,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'd have to use like the special boat gas for the boat.
Like the mixed
Yeah.
gas,
Not
The
something.
mixed gas.
necessarily. I
No,
mean, it's easy. You can mix it yourself, but like you can use regular gas,
Yeah, but
and
the only guy who knew anything about this boat is dead.
that's
Yep.
fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
Yep.
I just
But
feel like
you shouldn't. But for what they were doing, they probably could have used regular gas.
so the two parts of the plan that are wrong is we got to put somebody better in charge of the door. That was number one because
Yeah,
Steve
that's
Mm-hmm.
sucks. So
Yeah.
that was not his job. Shouldn't leave him doing that shit. And we shouldn't leave the mall. So
Well, no, because they were already running out of food and water.
But they didn't take any food or water with them on the boat. That's the
It's
other
like-
problem.
They probably didn't have any by this point. They might have
Yeah.
just been. They might have sent the last of it over to Andy,
That's
and
fair.
it got all bloody and gross.
yeah,
But
true.
they could
I
have
think
brought
And they
a
might have had
fishing
some cans
pole.
on
Yes.
on them because they did have the big duffel bag full of crap.
Yeah.
But Lindsay brings up a good point. Like there is clearly a sporting
Good
shop
store.
in the
Yeah.
mall. They could have gotten fishing supplies, and it looks like they brought. Now, granted, that would have been hilarious to watch all of them running with a fishing pole
Right. Yeah.
to the boat. But Lindsay
Something.
brings up a very good
I'm just
point.
saying.
Like they could have gotten at least prepared so that they could have gotten some form of
Yes.
provisions while on the boat.
I mean,
Any
That could have been on the. They could have been on the bus that overturned.
yeah.
That is
Yeah,
also
because
true.
we got to talk about the bus that overturns and the gay cross-dressing preacher or whatever saws the
Ugh.
blonde in half. 'Cause
And
that
all of
had
a
to
sudden
happen.
we're in a slasher movie.
Yeah, I was
This
like,
is-
wait, no, we're in one of them Texas Chainsaw reboot movies that are like the Platinum Dunes era. Like, I was like, oh yeah,
I
yeah.
love the cop. He's like, everyone's dead. Just don't even look.
yeah,
It
like,
was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
yeah. Saying that to
Leave, and she looks in anyway.
she's the ER nurse. She's
Yes.
seen it, bro.
Yeah.
And up at this point, she's really seen it. So
yeah.
I guess for me, like when he delivered that, I know that it was supposed to be like everyone's dead, but I could just feel the actor being like,
yeah,
it was really stupid. You don't want to look.
Yeah.
And just like, let's go.
yeah. Oh man, it's just I know we need to take a lot of people out here at once, and we especially have to take out like the people we don't like. Steve, he's got to go down pretty bad.
Sure,
Mhm.
sure.
And stuff because we're waiting for Sarah Polly to shoot him in the head since we met him, and so that's coming and all that. But because you got to whittle the group down because we're getting near the end and stuff like that. But it's I don't know. A lot starts happening here at once, and it's easy to miss it. I feel like because it's just going by so friggin' fast. I mean, for a movie that has this insane amount of slow mo in it, it also has the insane amount of fast mo, and there's just a
Yeah.
lot of frenetic stuff going down, which I guess is supposed to be how it would be. I guess I've never been through a zombie apocalypse. Somebody else can talk about it, but maybe that's how you would feel. I don't know. There's just a lot that happens that I'm like, what happened to that guy? And I have no idea. I guess they were in the bus too, or they
Yeah.
were in CJ's like two of his massive explosions, which feels like
Oh yeah.
inspired a
that's
lot of
true.
MythBusters episodes about propane tanks.
He loves propane tanks. They're his favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, and I asked this question um, before the propane tank explosions. But what, like, there must be a way to mass kill zombies because just like
Mhm.
one bullet at a time or one baseball bat to the head at a time is not going to do it. I
Yeah.
feel like a flamethrower would work, and you could make that happen
Mhm.
Yeah.
relatively easily with a few ingredients.
Mhm.
But
I agree.
yeah, I feel like, and that's why the propane tank was a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
In most zombie games I have played, the flamethrower is like one of the not the ultimate, but it's like right up there as like one of the ultimate like weapons to use.
They're fun
Mhm.
too. It'd be like weeding, you know? I have like
Yes,
I do. I have
my
like a
garden's a
blowtorch
mess.
that I weed we have a stone path and we weed it with a
Mhm.
blowtorch.
I was
That's
gonna
so
say, do you
funny,
have one of
Lindsay,
those
because
weed blowtorches?
I
I'm
just
just
bought one of those
Do
like
you they're
last month.
awesome,
Yeah,
Ron. They're the best. They're
I
so
have it in
fun.
my Amazon cart. I was like, this would be great to get rid of
I'm
weeds.
just
It's
sitting here
amazing.
like imagining, like, because I've seen this path, imagining you just blowtorching it.
Fun story,
So
Jay. I was blowtorching the path when like the Amazon guy rolled up the driveway. And my niece and nephew, who are like 1 and 4, were
oh
like
no.
next to me. So
Hey neighbor.
he just sees me with a blowtorch, 2 small children, and like just like
That's
doing the thing.
So
that's
what you're saying is
yeah.
hilarious.
Maeve
Doesn't
Lindsay
keeps
ask
and
going.
Ron are
questions.
ready
He
for
doesn't
zombie
ask
apocalypse
questions.
because
The
of
the
these
box
flame weed
Yeah.
weapons.
Mhm.
the box in my kitchen. Maeve keeps going up to it, and she keeps looking at it and saying, "Can we light some charcoal?" It's one of the
Yes.
uses you have for the blowtorch thing. And I was like, no, not yet, not yet, buddy. But I promise you, when I get my 20-pound tank of LP gas, I'll head out there,
Yes.
and you can help me blowtorch some things.
That's
Yep.
funny. That's
Yeah.
Fun.
that's hilarious. So, but I mean, but it is a great idea that he's got because he's like, how about a barbecue? And he comes up with the idea of like, we're gonna put a flare on this thing and blow a hole in it and boom, and it does
Mhm.
blow a chunk of them down to clear the road for them to get out of there because they're getting overrun. I mean, that's very World War Z. It looked like for a minute.
Which is
Yeah.
something that I was surprised that they thought of the first time I saw this movie, because I was like,
Hmm.
that many people crushing against a vehicle are going to stop it immediately.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like you can't just
Yeah, you want me to
use
run over them? Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
can't just use a
Yeah.
cow catcher and push them away like that.
No.
It's too much meat, and it's funny that they actually thought
Well,
about that one.
that's the other thing too is that I mean, I don't know what zombie strength is like or whatever, but I mean, you've all seen like after a sporting event, like 3 decent sized dudes can turn an SUV over.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
like it wouldn't have taken that many people to flip that bus over. Like really, like a horde of
Yeah.
zombies like that, I don't think them things would have survived.
I mean, that's the other thing. It's a bus. It's only,
Hmm.
I mean, like it can go fast, but it cannot go super fast. So it's
Hmm.
not like they even have like true momentum to like really get them going. But you are
Exactly.
correct. That whole like scene where it's like you see both of the buses just kind of completely encased like with zombies and everything, and they're like, we'll use
Hmm.
the chainsaws and we'll use the bullets, and it's like statistically the zombies would win in this
Yeah,
moment.
you were well outnumbered from what you can actually accomplish and
Yeah.
do at that point. Yeah.
And
Right.
even though the zombies don't have like a knowledge of like, all right, two of you on one side, two of you on the other, we'll push,
Hmm.
Mhm.
we'll take turns, we'll get it rocking, and then
Yeah.
it'll just roll over on its own. Even though they
Yeah.
don't have that kind of knowledge of physics, there's
Hmm.
Mhm.
enough of them that eventually they would have gotten inside there one way or the other.
Right. Right.
Whether they roll it over or whether they just start peeling it apart like a tin can.
Yeah, even getting
Right.
chewed up like they were, like that was, they were eventually going to get into that. There's just no
Mhm.
hiding it. So
And then all
yeah,
the zombies you've run over to get to this point are just going to gum up the wheels.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I mean,
You're going to hydroplane. It's
on
like
on
Oh
on
God.
goo. So
it's like
Oh,
trying to drive under an overpass after a heavy
zombie
rain.
juice.
You're just going to like,
Zombie juice, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's plenty of it. That's for sure. So,
So much.
but we get to the big climax where the bus has turned over. All this shooting and killing's going on. We're trying to run around, and that's when we get to the boat and the big reveal. Dun dun dun. TV salesman has been bitten. Oh, we knew it.
I actually
Dang
have a
it.
question that maybe Ron can answer because this was another thing that I noticed in the movies.
Hmm.
We have a situation where at the beginning of the film, we have people that are bitten, and it takes a little bit of time in order for them to change.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But then we have our oh so favorite character. He gets bitten and then almost immediately turns into a zombie. Is there potentially a reason behind it? Because it seems like the acceleration of the virus is maybe something that is like increasing as the movie progresses, but I was curious about that because he changed so quickly in
Hmm.
comparison to some of the other people.
It's mostly based off of, I think, how quickly you die,
Mhm.
Yeah.
rather than like the efficacy of the bite. I feel like if you just get bit on the arm and you just walk around fine for like a week or two, and then the infection slowly kills you, that's one thing.
Hmm.
Versus
Mhm.
like if they bite you in the neck and you bleed out, because you see it with the husband. He's
Yeah.
bitten
Mhm.
on the neck, he bleeds
Yeah.
out. The moment he's
Right.
done bleeding out, he sets up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like he just got he had the same Ty Burrell had the same death that the husband got, where it
Okay.
was pretty quick, and then he was just like, all right, time to party.
Hmm.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. He was definitely ready to go. So that's a good point, Ron. I hadn't thought about it like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so like if Matt Frewer had been bitten on the arm and then I don't know got stabbed, then or they'd shot him, then he would
hmm.
have got back up unless they shot him in the head.
Mhm.
Fair enough. I
Hmm.
do like how CJ goes out though here. That he's like fighting them off and he's like, no, go, I'll catch up, I'll catch up. And like he knows, like he's done. You know, he's just gonna
Mhm.
go down swinging. And I love it's just the fucking figures, you know. And what he's talking about is like, I'm always having to deal with these hordes of idiots that don't listen to me, you know, and
Mhm.
that's how he has to go out. I did like that. I thought Michael Kelly got some good lines at the end of this.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Full
did.
circle. Mhm.
Yeah.
What was the one he kept saying? Was it daycare?
But
Yeah.
nurseries
That's what it
kids.
was.
Yeah.
Nursery school, something
Yeah.
like that.
Dang nursery school. Yeah. So,
And
but
I
I
feel
mean,
like
yeah,
a mall security guard is uniquely qualified to deal with hordes of idiots.
you would think, yeah,
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
probably worked a few like Black Fridays.
Back
He
when
worked
Black
Black Friday
Friday
when that
was
meant
Black
something.
Friday.
Yeah, back when
Yeah.
it was the thing. Yeah,
And
exactly.
when you had to go greet Santa or the Easter
Oh,
Bunny, like
oh
Yeah.
handling the
gosh.
hordes and the lines of the children and the parents.
Oh
And that's a
yeah.
pretty big mall, so they probably had like visiting pop stars show up for like things, and
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Mhm.
definitely.
Tiffany definitely sang at that mall.
yeah, Debbie
Or you know
Gibson.
the Midwestern the pop punk band popped through. I'm sure. So yeah. So oh,
Are you
that's it.
saying modern baseball was there, Jay?
You know what? Yeah, they probably did jam in that mall.
It's probably WCW had a pop up show there, like the Mall
Oh,
of
you
America.
know they did. Wisconsin? Please. They're there all the time. So you when the Brewers ever got a run, they'd come through town.
Oh yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' sorry ass rolled through there at one time or another. You know he did. So
Yeah, autograph signings.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh man.
So
Did
But
the
they do
Milwaukee
make
Bucks have
the
any
boat.
players worth getting the autograph for before Giannis?
not no,
Son of a.
not before Giannis, no. So
All right.
somewhere Nick is like shaking his fist angrily at this podcast.
Just gonna get text being
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
"Curse
Like,
you,
what are
Jay!"
you doing? Hey, man, we had this point guard. Yeah. So,
So-
Tom Gugliotta, blah blah blah.
something like that. So, yeah.
Yep. But they do get to the boat
Hmm.
and successfully start it up.
Kudos to her for remembering the keys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Came
Yep.
full circle
She went
as
back to
well.
get the keys. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I mean,
as
her
we,
boyfriend got bitten, but I guess
yeah.
it kind of worked
I mean,
out.
was he her boyfriend at that point? It's like her like convenient hookup, you know, I don't know. So,
I mean, at that point, in the zombie apocalypse, I would assume that relationship titles are loosely based.
that is a good point. You're right. So,
Yeah,
I don't know that we need to put labels on that at that moment.
it's okay. I saw one part of the sexual montage. I didn't need to see any
Oh,
other
yeah, yeah.
potential.
Yeah, let's not talk about Steve and Monica. That was unnecessary. So.
Like, okay, that was the uncut version. I was like, this
No,
is
no,
that
no.
10
It's in
minutes?
No,
both. I'm gonna go ahead and tell
that's in
you.
Oh, is
theatrical. Yeah,
it?
That's in the
Okay.
theatrical version too. So.
I was genuinely curious because when I looked at the uncut, which is
Mhm.
the one I bought versus the regular one, I looked at the timestamps and it looked like it was 10, 15 minutes more. And I was like, what was the extra bits? And so it's good to, I guess it's good to know that it wasn't that, but I'm
it's all
also like,
exploding heads and
It's that
The
flapping guns,
the
flopping
confessional.
preacher
guns.
confessional is a lot
Yeah.
longer. So
okay.
yeah.
Poor Andy.
It's not even that much longer, Jay.
Yeah. It's just it seems like they linger on it a little bit more. I don't know. It just felt longer.
No, it's
so.
pretty consistent with the theatrical. They really just added in a bunch of like gore shots that they had to cut out to get an R rating,
All right, fair
from
enough.
what I remember.
All right.
And I think I think there's more zombie baby.
There's more zombie baby, that's for sure. Because that thing,
Yeah.
like, you get like a quick shot of it I remember, and because this
Give
was
That's
like
the thing
people
that
what
that
they
they would
want.
sucker. Yeah,
definitely be squeamish about in 2005, 2004.
yeah, 100%. So
More zombie Jesus.
Yeah.
more.
Give me zombie Jesus.
I'm fairly sure that even historically Jesus is a male, and this is a female baby.
I keep forgetting about that part. I think it's because like it's a Schneider film, and I'm like I'm
It
ready for
is.
religious context. In
It
some
definitely
way.
could be. You're not wrong. It's just, but yeah.
Zombie
Oh.
Mary. I don't know.
That's a whole other. That feels like a whole subgenre on Tubi.
Oh God, no! I didn't mean it like that. Oh my God.
Copyright. Call us Tubi. No, I mean we have that, but it's this. It's the weird thing about this movie is that it wants to have these like poignant moments, and it ends on one. Before you get to the found footage part where you realize like that wasn't a good idea at all. Like it really wasn't a good idea. But you see Jake Weber looking off into the sunset and Anna's looking back at him longingly and then okay, and he's just gonna shoot himself. It's like wow. And it's boom and then cut. I'm like, whoa. I mean, I remember in the theater going like, that's it? Wow. And
It's
then
the
then
mist ending.
and then we hung around real quick, they teased us, but
Yeah.
and what did y'all make of that, Joe? Did you like that ending? Did you like that he had to go down like that?
I thought it was fine.
Because he didn't shoot himself when he was a zombie. He shot himself when he was a person. So
Yeah.
presumably,
But he knew
By the
it was
time-
gonna happen.
yeah.
Right.
He knew. I mean, he knew. I'm not saying it wasn't justified. I'm just saying like he took himself out before he could ever turn.
He finally did the thing that he wanted to do to begin with that Anna wasn't gonna let him do.
Are you saying he secretly
Now
wanted to
he's
shoot
like,
himself?
now he's like, I sent that bitch off on a boat so I can do what I want.
Oh my God.
I have never read it that way before, Lindsay. That may improve my popcorn rating. Jake Weber had this secret that I just want to die. And this
I'm
woman
out.
won't leave me alone. And she got turned on by my chainsaw trick. And I mean, I had to, right? It's a pity lane. So,
Like,
she lost her husband.
I can't get away from her.
She
like,
lost
a
her
big
husband and her
mall.
Corolla. I owe it to her.
Oh my God, the Corolla. Rip. It's like
And
I
it's
could walk
hard.
away from her in a mall. I can't do that on a boat.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to this
Are
island.
you saying that before like they push off the boat, he was there like gnawing on his own arm?
Yeah,
Make
he's
it
like,
look like he got
Oh,
bitten?
look.
bitten. You know, like when kids used to give themselves like hickeys, like on their arm and everything. He's like, I got bitten. Darn.
I don't know what kind of school you went to. We just used to put the glue on our hands and peel it off. But
Yeah, we
Well, he
would
did
do
that
too. Yeah.
I mean, who
No, he
didn't?
didn't.
Almost agree with
No.
rules. But probably my skin's so dry now.
No, I think he actually did get bitten, but
No, but I love your interpretation of
But
it. It's
he
like
is-
get me away
he
from
is
this thing.
pro shooting bitten people before they die. I'm just saying he's
He
in
is
that camp.
that
and-
was his campaign.
Yeah.
And he was gonna go down with it.
Yeah.
So,
Politician in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, he gets to fulfill his dreams of being Bud Dwyer, I guess.
Well, Filter wrote a great song, so there we
That's
go.
true.
But wow. So well, okay, but it's not over though, right? Because we go to the
Oh.
all the cut through the found footage where we get to see
I hated
Yeah.
that
deck
bit. I
tapes.
hated
Ugh.
that bit. It was
if
so annoying.
if you take that as canon,
How can you not? It's in the movie.
it's in the credits, Jay.
That's part of the
That
friggin' movie,
counts.
bro.
That counts.
I think we've
How
all
does
like
that
No,
not
it
count?
counts.
I mean,
It
all of us
counts.
have watched a Marvel movie or 10.
Uh,
So
yeah.
therefore it's canon.
Oh, even before that, man, Ferris Bueller, like him telling you to go
Oh, that's
home is
true.
part of the movie.
Yeah.
You wait
Yeah,
around
but
for.
Ferris Bueller is magical and can break the fourth wall. Like,
Well, okay, but you also get to watch, monster Jeffrey Jones slub into the school bus. So, as part of that montage at the end too, or that credit sequence. So, and which is what he deserved.
I
So,
think I think the video scene, like the camera scene, it's like, ooh, okay, you found this camera, and it's so short lived that it's making me hate this character a little bit more.
right, that this guy
Yeah, I'm like, will you
Bert or
please put
Bart,
the
yeah.
yeah, and no wonder Chips ran off. It's not because of the zombies; it's because he's sick of that camera.
Oh.
Well, I love Ving Rhames just like get that out of my face, and you feel like that he's talking to Zack Snyder at that moment. Like, I'm done with this. You brought me back to shoot this garbage. We've been doing this movie for 6 months. They shot this
Honestly,
like way later. So,
Did they really?
yeah, this
I
I
didn't
did
wasn't
know
not know
that.
like
that.
he added it in later because he was like, I feel like I need something, because he wanted to have this sort of darker ending of like, well, did they live? Did they not? Well, maybe not. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I kind of am surprised the cop didn't just take the damn camera and like throw it into the water,
right. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
because
So,
that seems like something he would do.
but I
Is
mean,
there
the way it goes is, the zombies come at him and then the camera drops and then all you
Mhm.
see is chewing through, Disturbed.
Yes.
yeah. Is there a zombie movie in existence where the humans that aren't zombies win? Like, did they ever figure it out? Does anyone ever figure it out?
Figure out how to beat zombies?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of in World War Z in the movie version, they sort of figure out how to reverse it in some way. I never watched the 28, movies. I'm sure Ron has. He can tell us, but I don't know. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a
I
good
don't,
question.
maybe I don't have like a whole, I think perhaps I have a hole in my film repertoire of zombies because I feel like all the zombie movies I've seen, it's just like, well, you're fucked.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
mean, yeah,
Well,
it feels like at some point, like there is no like getting back around to it.
right.
Like you can't
Yeah.
fix it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Like
the
eventually you'll be a zombie.
like in the 28 movies, they don't really solve it. They just kind of say, "Oh well, England's gone," and they set
Okay.
up like a
Yeah.
basically passport control for the undead at the at Calais where the channel comes out. And
So they
that's
kind
pretty
of
much
figure out how to live with it though. That
right.
counts.
Yeah,
That counts.
that's fair.
I
So,
guess in Shaun of the Dead, they kind of kind of in similar fashion, they were like, they kind of dealt with it. And then his best friend is locked up in his shed for the
mhm.
rest of time. But but I think that World War Z is the only one that comes to mind where like they found a solution,
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
quotations.
Yeah, just asking from my
Just
own curiosity,
just as a
really.
side point or as a side question, Ryan, am I picking up that you're not a big fan of World War Z either?
I hate that movie so
I
much.
fucking hate that movie too. Okay, all right. So
I don't
It is just a mash of CGI and Tom Cruise and
no, Brad Pitt. So
no,
Brad
you're
Pitt.
right. It
It's
is
even
Brad.
worse.
It is Brad
yeah,
Pitt.
even
I'm so
worse. You're right.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's
It's the Tom Cruise that doesn't shower. So
Ugh. It's just there's nothing. I don't find it scary. It's just like absolute chaos and then quiet and then absolute chaos and then quiet. And I'm like, I have better things to do.
the only thing that had a more hoary relationship with a Pepsi machine was Alien 3. And that was because of that commercial. But I'll remember that about that movie forever and I'll never watch it again
I
unless for
just
some
don't.
reason we do it here. But
I
yeah.
mean, I know we're not reviewing World War Z, but I just felt like it didn't do anything to the zombie genre other than to be like they can be faster.
Which Yeah, faster and more
Great.
intense is the George Lucas of zombies.
It's
Yeah.
like, great. Okay, that's it. We're fine. Ish.
Which is a shame because the actual book is great.
That's what everybody tells me is that the book's incredible, and the movie
And
turned me so off to it. I just won't go back to the book.
the unabridged audiobook is fabulous.
And that really sucks because it's like that is I didn't even know that there was a book to it, but like that's kind of like disappointing to know that probably a lot of people will never know about the book unless somebody's read the book and told them that the movie was terrible.
It was a
I don't
big
think I've
deal,
ever seen
but
the
yeah,
movie.
I think it fell. I don't know. The movie turned me away from it. But hey, there's no book on Dawn of the Dead. Yay!
You know of.
Woo.
Yeah.
There probably is somewhere.
I mean, there's probably a novelization tie-in. I can only imagine what the montage is written as. But anyway,
Yeah.
No, I'll give a
Uh,
shout out to the unabridged audiobook version of World War Z because they get some really good actors and really interesting people to do because it's it's people's recounting of what they went through in the zombie apocalypse after the fact, after humanity beats them and figures out a way to defeat them.
oh man, you got
Um,
Simon Pegg and Mark Hamill and Henry Rollins in this thing. John
Henry Rollins is
Turturro,
is
cool.
one of the best narrators in that whole book
Nathan Fillion, Alfred Molina. Okay, I'm
because
intrigued.
like Henry Rollins is
Alan
playing
Alda.
is a bodyguard type for a bunch of spoiled rich Hollywood assholes who put themselves
Checks out.
into they put themselves into a like a big fortress type bunker and they live stream it so people can watch them because they're Hollywood types and they need to be watched at all times. And he's just so dripping with disdain about these people and their lifestyle and the way that they live. I feel like it's Henry
Yeah,
Rollins channeling his own
I can
disdain
imagine
for
so. Yeah,
everyone he's ever met in Hollywood that isn't Iggy Pop.
that's fair.
Nice. Oh, well, we've covered a lot today.
We really have.
Everyone. I don't think there's much more to
This
cover. So
podcast
I
is longer
think
than the
that
movie.
I know.
That's what we've
This
been
is
doing
how it
lately, Jay.
always goes. It's how it always goes. So, not always, but yes, like Ron said lately. So, I think we can safely say that it is time for some popcorn ratings. I hope you all agree.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Ryan, I think
Oh,
you
dear.
remember the popcorn rating system,
I do.
right?
Oh,
Okay.
I
Would you
do.
would you like to kick us off with your popcorn rating of this movie?
Oh dear. Okay. So it is definitely a early 2000s horror movie. But like I think that you kind of brought up, Lindsay, it's not really scary. I think that the first 10 minutes of it is great and it kind of um goes up and down depending, but it's kind of cheesy and I have a special place in my heart for early 2000s horror films and this kind of fits that niche as well. So I think that I'm going to give this a medium popcorn with butter and salt, but you kind of got to shake it up a little bit in order to get a little bit of everything that you want in a single cluster. But yeah.
Cool. Ron?
I feel like I'm going to be the odd man out here because I love this movie and all of the tonal weirdness and all the Zack Snyder quirks kind of work for me. I am probably the closest thing to a Zack Snyder defender the podcast has. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I am. So, which is why me and friend of the show Rob are the ones who did Army of the Dead. Nobody else, so we could gush about it without people like shitting on our parade. Um, Speaking of Zack Snyder zombie movies, but I'm going to go with a large popcorn with lots of red dyed corn syrup because this whole purpose of this movie is, you're right, it's not really a horror movie. It's a horror movie in the sense that it's a zombie movie. So it gets shuffled off into horror, whether it's a horror movie or not. It's an action movie. It's a really good action movie to me. And if you can look past what your expectations are for a zombie flick, kind of like people had to have done with Alien 2 many, many years ago, how it was a complete departure from what Alien 1 was.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can enjoy this for what it is, which is just like an idiot roller coaster ride. So, large popcorn.
All right. Jay?
So I know I sound like the hater here, and I'm really not. Like I said, there's some of Zack Snyder's stuff I really like, and there's some of his stuff that he does that I like. But it always feels like there's just a little too much of it. And the thing about this movie is, and I'll go back to it, like I said at the beginning, the first 10 minutes of it are as good as anything in the air. I'd put it up with any of it. The best horror movie of 2004, in my opinion, is the original Saw, which is an incredible movie. And it's got its own branching weirdness as it gets into a series. But this movie, for being a remake, you could do a lot worse for a horror remake. I'll say that now. Like, it was definitely handled by people who cared about the original property, but also wanted to do something different with it. And Ron, I'm glad you love it. I think I love it when we don't always agree on these things. I think that's fine. Like, it's okay to like a movie. $1 to Eric Siska out there. That's fine. I please come on the show, Eric. You probably, of all of them, you probably would. But but the thing about this movie is that it starts off with such a bang, and then it does get me to an interesting place in the mall, and then it just starts to grind. And it just becomes this, it's just this chore. And it's like a medium popcorn where I'm like, I just ran a long run. I want all the butter and all the salt I can get. I've earned it, dang it. And about a third of the way through eating it, going like, I'm going to regret this greatly if I continue to eat this. And I'm like, and so I set it aside, and I'm just like, okay, now I'm just here. Oh yeah, let's have sex in the sliver scene. Okay, cool, whatever. There's a dog, whatever. Can we shoot Phil Dunphy in the head already? Like, I'm just waiting for it. Now the last 15 minutes of it picks it back up. So I'm left with this like really cool beginning and really cool end with all this shit in the middle that I didn't really come for. So it's very much like the original When a Stranger Calls in that way, where the opening is awesome and then you have all this crap, and then the last 10 minutes are like, oh my God, and a lot of Charles Durning in shirts that he did not need to be wearing, way too tight for that man. But anyway, 70s costuming aside, this movie, there's parts of it that just drag for me, and I can't get over them. And I don't hate it, but I don't absolutely love it either. But that said, it's a good medium popcorn. It's fine. It's fun. And it was a ton of fun talking about it with y'all. So I'm glad we've been talking about doing this forever. I'm glad we finally are getting this one in for this October. But yeah, it's going to be a medium popcorn for me with just a little too much butter, because that's what this movie is for me.
I am also going to echo the medium popcorn. I think out of the zombie movies I've seen, that I don't even know. I don't even know how I feel about it anymore. It just didn't hit the same way I remembered it hitting the last time I really watched it. But the first half of it, I would say I was absolutely 100% on board, large popcorn. And then it just started, like we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, where it just kind of started to get not as good, but like more and more and more not good. So I think I like your concept, Jay. I think I'm going to go with like a medium popcorn, and the top half is just like the perfect. It's got like just the right amount of extra butter, the perfect amount of salt, and then you keep eating it and you realize that you've eaten all the butter. It hasn't gone all the way down. You didn't do the straw trick or
Yeah.
anything like that. Or you went to a movie theater where they don't do some movie theaters ask if you want butter in the middle. So they'll half fill it, put butter on it, fill it the rest of the way, and put butter on it again.
Mm-hmm.
Find yourself one of those theaters. It is a treat. But it wasn't a popcorn from one of those. It was just the 15-year-old working the counter just like put a few a few squirts of the movie theater butter flavor on it, and it was great for the first half, and then the second half not so much. So that's what I would give it. I think that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But it really was. I mean, there are so many great things to say about this movie. I honestly would say if you haven't seen it, please go for it. If you lived during that time period, it's a good nostalgic watch for the movies of that time.
Mhm.
But yeah, and the sounds and the sound tracks, some of the needle drops were pretty great. So yeah, I would recommend. But with
I mean,
that,
don't they end isn't the closing montage set to people who died by the Jim Carroll band?
It is, yeah.
I didn't know what the song was,
Mhm.
but yeah.
It's an awesome song. It's a great song.
Yeah. So it had some really great needle drops. It had a lot of really amazing things punctuated with like the wrong marks. So maybe an exclamation point where a question mark should have been or whatever, That's
TV
kind of
salesman.
how I feel about it. Yeah, but overall, like I still really enjoy the movie. I'm absolutely still going to watch it again. So, anyway, all that long story long, long podcast long. Um I'd say it was an overall good movie and great discussion as always. Thank you, Ryan, for
Yes,
joining
thank you.
Yes, thank
again.
you.
Really, really a treat to have you on, and I'm sure we'll have you on again
Yes, please.
sooner than later. So, for all the other folks out there listening, thank you again. And you can find and follow us on social media at Filmstrip Pod. We share announcements about upcoming shows as well as other fun content. And don't forget to subscribe and share the show. Bonus points if you leave us a positive review. It helps other people find our podcast and it makes us feel really good about ourselves. Until next time, thank you for listening to Filmstrip.
Thank you for listening to Filmstrip. You can find more episodes on our website, filmstrippodcast.com. The Filmstrip theme music is produced and performed by Frozen Lake 121. All content used or discussed in these podcast episodes is the property of the respective owners and used under the Fair Use Act, Section 504, C2, Title 17.